For the 2019 Champions League final here in the Estadio Metropolitano in Madrid. Steve McManaman, Jermaine Genus, and first, Darren Fletcher.
Thank you, Gary. Good evening, everybody. Well, it's a hot and sticky night in Madrid, and it's the moment of truth for the players of Tottenham Hotspur and Liverpool. Familiar rivals meeting in unfamiliar surroundings here in Madrid. And the teams are on their way to play the biggest football match in the world this year. Spurs and Liverpool waving the flag for England, while the rest of the world watches on. It's the 7th time that two teams from the same country have played against each other in a Champions League final, but only the 2nd time it's involved two teams from England. And Liverpool walking past the trophy that they walked past and couldn't touch 12 months ago. The same trophy that Bill Nicholson and Bill Shankly dreamed of winning. What colour ribbons will it be wearing later on tonight? The semi-finals were stunning. What's in store in Madrid? Will the Champions League trophy head to London or Liverpool? It's a wonderful scene inside the Metropolitano, red at one end and white the other. It's the first game on a neutral ground between these two since the Charity Shield 37 years ago, and we know that it will be a career-defining night for someone tonight. Well, the big Tottenham question has been answered, and 53 days after his quarter-final injury, Harry Kane starts the final. It means the semi-final hero Lucas Moura starts on the bench. It's a huge disappointment for the Brazilian, but it's not a night for sentiment. Harry Winks is also fit to play, preferred tonight to Dyer and Wanyama. 9 of this 11 started the game in Amsterdam, and both teams can name 12 substitutes tonight. There's the referee, Damir Skamina, who is from Slovenia. The VAR referee tonight, because we may well have him involved at some stage, is the Dutchman Danny McKelly. Team photos being taken, and as was suggested, Spurs have included all of the squad in theirs. Well, Liverpool's big concern in the build-up was the fitness of Roberto Firmino. He's been restricted by a groin issue recently, but he's in from the start tonight. James Milner is the midfielder who misses out. Liverpool's free tonight. Fabinho, Henderson and Wijnaldum. Divock Origi, who scored 2 against Barcelona, is on the bench. It's a group that also includes the youngsters Brewster and Kelleher. The semi-finals provided unlikely heroes in both teams. You wonder whether tonight's the night when the superstars make their mark. He's delighted to be back in from the start for Tottenham. The capacity for this one tonight, 63,000. They could have filled it many, many times over. The 64th final of the competition, the 27th in the Champions League era, and the biggest night for Mauricio Pochettino with Tottenham, and Jurgen Klopp back in the final with Liverpool. And before the kick-off tonight, we will pay our respects to the former Arsenal and Spain winger Jose Antonio Reyes, who was tragically killed in a car accident at the age of 35 He was one of Arsenal's invincibles and played over 100 games for Atletico Madrid as well. And of course, our thoughts are with his friends and family at this very sad time. So the stage is set for the 2019 Champions League final. The all-white for Tottenham and the all-red for Liverpool. Will it be a 6th win in the competition for Liverpool or a 1st for Tottenham? The atmosphere has been building in Madrid all week. The atmosphere outside the stadium and now inside the stadium has been superb. Steve McManaman, you've won this competition twice. Liverpool back in it again. There's been such a sense of anticipation for this one.
Yeah, I think as you look around Madrid, incredibly vibrant city, but everybody's here for one reason, it's for this. You cannot wait.
So off we go, the 2019 Champions League final underway, and the first defensive header down there for Tottenham, and Kieran Trippier. There's Henderson in on Winks, who's back in the Tottenham team from the start. They are significant players back in the starting lineup on a big night for Tottenham, and here's Mane with the first foray forward for Liverpool, and the referee's given a penalty for a handball by Sissoko. And what a dramatic start we have. A penalty given to Liverpool inside 30 seconds, and Christian Eriksen leads the protests.
He's checking Fletcher saying, isn't he? Let's have a look if his arm's out. Oh, it's off his chest and on his arm. His arm is out in an unnatural position. Fletcher will be given, won't it? He shouldn't have his hands up there. Let's wait and see.
Peter Walton says handball. Jermaine?
Yeah, I think the initial contact hits his chest, but when he kind of swings his arm down, there is contact with his arm onto the ball, and I think given what UEFA are doing now, the penalty will be given.
Well, the check is over, and it is a penalty, and it's a huge moment so early for Mo Salah against the Tottenham captain Hugo Lloris, who, remember, saved the penalty against Aguero en route to the final, and he's the most important man in the place as far as Tottenham are concerned early on. Salah against Lloris, and he scores, and Liverpool make the perfect start to the Champions League final, and it's Mo Salah in Madrid for Liverpool. It's Tottenham Hotspur 0, Liverpool 1, and Liverpool score first blood in the final.
There's no messing around there. He wasn't being cute. He was just thumping the back of that ball as hard as he can. Hugo Lloris had no chance.
I think from a Tottenham point of view, if you actually look how that goal developed, there was a couple of battles lost in that midfield. I think Winks lost the header to Henderson, Dele lost the battle to Fabinho, Van Dijk wins the battle against Harry Kane, and Trippier's out of position when the ball goes over to Mane. Not a great start, obviously, from Tottenham's point of view. Plenty of time to get back into it, but that was a disaster.
Well, it was heartbreak in the Champions League final 12 months ago for Mo Salah. That collision with Sergio Ramos, which ended his final early, but he's the hero so far with an early goal for Liverpool, and that really will test the character and nerve of a Tottenham Hotspur team who showed bundles of it in Amsterdam in the semi-finals. That's Salah's 27th goal of the season. It's not the fastest goal in the Champions League final. That remains with Paolo Maldini inside a minute, but of course the decision was given and awarded inside the first 30 seconds. It's a regrouping issue now, Jermaine, for Tottenham.
It is. You know, they need to settle down, get on that ball, start passing it around. You know, it's one goal, Fletcher. It's going to be a shock to them, granted, but they just need to play themselves into this game now and don't allow the next 10 minutes, because Liverpool will be upbeat now and feeling confident, and they need to somehow find a way to take that out of them and settle it down. Great start from Liverpool's point of view, though, winning all second balls, and they just seem a little bit more aggressive just from the start, in my opinion.
History does tell you that if you are the team that scores the first goal in a Champions League final, the odds are very much in your favour that you will go on and win it. Mauricio Pochettino believes that the strongest mental attitude will win tonight, and it's what he's been working on very, very diligently in the last 2.5 weeks, and that mental strength that he's tried to instill will be needed now with these Tottenham Hotspur players. Here's Danny Rose. Alderweireld here looking for the run of Dele Alli, who's managed to nick it away there from Alexander-Arnold. Here's Son, and that's a corner.
That's much better from Tottenham. Little spell at the back here, popping it around. It went into Winks. That will settle those nerves down. Nice play on the left-hand side, and got themselves a corner. They're in the attacking third now. It's making things happen. They needed that. They needed that little spell just to get the confidence.
Alisson is defending the end in the first half, where the majority of the Liverpool supporters are seated, and Kieran Trippier has gone out to take the first corner of this Champions League final. It's in towards Jan Vertonghen and powered away by Virgil van Dijk for Liverpool. There's a big difference in terms of experience in the two teams in Champions League final terms tonight. The majority of the Liverpool team were involved last year in Kiev. 8 of the 11 starting tonight started that game too. Only Toby Alderweireld and Fernando Llorente in the Tottenham squad have played in a Champions League final before. Here's Fabinho following the giveaway from Trippier. Henderson. Sadio Mane to Mo Salah. And it clipped away by Alderweireld, but not with any real authority.
Yeah, as JJ said before, they just need to relax, don't they, Tottenham? Get a few passes in between them. Trippier there, Alderweireld giving the ball away. Just sheer power this time. As I said, very central. Goes over the keeper.
It's one of those, isn't it, where if he stands up, he saves it.
Yeah, look, he's made the decision. He looked like he got very close to it, but I think just the pace on the ball beat him.
There's Dele Alli on the move for Spurs. And Trent Alexander-Arnold over there to defend it for Liverpool. He's the youngest player to start successive Champions League finals in the history of the competition. Alexander-Arnold breaking Christian Panucci's record. A young player who plays with such maturity at the back for Liverpool.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting part of the game, that battle between himself and Dele, because Dele loves to make little runs in between him and where Matip is now. We know that Alderweireld can find those passes, and if there is a weakness to Trent's game, sometimes you just tend to switch off just a little bit. Going forward, brilliant, and that's what Tottenham need to look out for.
Sissoko to Eriksen. Alexander-Arnold with a bit of a tester there, though, for Alisson. The preparation of the two teams has been significantly different. Spurs have been in Madrid a little bit longer than Liverpool. And Liverpool had a training camp in Marbella, while all of the Tottenham work was done in London. Alderweireld out towards Danny Rose.
Wasn't a bad ball, was he? Just miscontrolled it. Took his eye off it.
Mo Salah was the man who stepped up when Liverpool needed him to provide this early lead in the Champions League final and put the emphasis squarely on the shoulders of Spurs to respond. Here's Sissoko, and Fabinho in the heart of the Liverpool midfield there to do the defensive job. Rose to Son. Here's Dele Alli.
They've done all right since the goal, though, Tottenham. Majority of the play, Liverpool have just dropped back. Trying to defend a little bit deeper.
Son can have a go at Alexander-Arnold. There's Henderson over there as well. There's Christian Eriksen. Son looking for room. Fabinho was just waving the leg in there. Sissoko. And that's high and over the top of the Liverpool crossbar. A man who doesn't score goals very often at all for Tottenham.
I think that was one of those don't shoot moments. Good play from Son, though. Good feet. Looks like he's in the mood. Heung-min Son. And as a midfielder, you have to hit that one, to be honest with you. He's got all the time in the world. Have a go.
It's Fabinho. Got a feel tonight for James Milner. He's missed out in the Liverpool midfield. You've certainly got a feel for Lucas Moura, who scored the semi-final hat-trick and is only on the bench. Here's Sadio Mane, and Trippier got back there to make the challenge.
He wanted Hugo Lloris to come and get the ball. He's probably right. The ball's travelled 70 yards.
He's got to be there, Maka.
Yeah, has to.
Has to read that. Alisson reads that.
Look where it bounces. Keeper should be all over that, shouldn't he?
It's twice, though, in a short space of time, that Mane is getting that joy just over the top of Kieran Trippier's head. Great ball from Van Dijk.
It's the first opportunity now for the Liverpool central defender to make his way into the Tottenham box. Joel Matip has got up there as well, and Trent Alexander-Arnold is out to take the Liverpool corner.
Well, that's a camera shot, that, isn't it? Look at the players surrounding the keeper.
Alexander-Arnold's delivery. Lloris got a punch on it through the crowd. You've got to give him a fair bit of credit for actually finding the ball in there.
Yeah, he's done well there, because it's difficult for keepers in that scenario. You haven't really got any room to get some momentum to jump even. Players lean on you, they'll just nudge you at the point when you want to move. Still enough to get it clear.
It'll be interesting tonight to assess how fit certain players are out there tonight. They've got question marks in both teams. Harry Winks has missed the last 6 matches. Harry Kane hasn't played since the quarter-final first leg against Manchester City, and there's been all kinds of discussions about the fitness of Roberto Firmino in the Liverpool side as well. He's been restricted significantly during the build-up, but the managers have felt the need tonight, with everything on the line, to go with the players that they trust the most on this kind of occasion.
Yeah, and I think, listening to Rio before the game, he spoke about being honest with yourself as a player. Yes, it's the biggest occasion, and even if that thought crosses your mind, you might not be here again. You've got to be honest for the team, and you'd hope that both players out there are doing that.
Well, there's the first physical test of Harry Kane. He was chopped down there by Matip.
Yeah, he went to ground earlier. Won the first tackle, missed time the second. There's that tackle one. And he's too late, isn't he? It's not that bad, actually. There was a foul.
It's not a yellow.
No, just a word from the referee to the Liverpool defender, and then a heavy touch there by Son as he was having a run at Robertson. I think it's worth mentioning the conditions as well, isn't it, in here tonight? It's extremely hot and sticky. One of those nights where you certainly know just how warm it is, even when you're just sitting here in the commentary position as we are as well. I suppose the good news is it didn't kick off at 3 o'clock this afternoon. It was absolutely roasting then.
Yeah, it says it hasn't cooled down at all, has it? Substitutions could play a big part later on when a bit of fatigue sets in.
Headed forward by Alexander-Arnold and away again by Danny Rose. Heung-min Son. Toby Alderweireld. Tongan swings an excellent ball forward here to Kieran Trippier. Now Eriksson.
Lost the momentum a bit there, didn't they?
Eriksson with the ball in and Alexander-Arnold with a header away. Looked promising at the start, didn't it?
It made no sense. You know, the minute that ball comes back from Trippier, you whip that in first time, or you take a touch and you whip that ball in. He had bodies in the box, Harry Kane, Dele, everybody was there. That's going back, it was just a little bit negative from Eriksson.
Ball just crossed the line. Assistant right on the spot there to give the throw in to Liverpool. I mean, the official allocation for the two clubs was 17,000 tickets each, but just having a look around the stadium, I can't see too many neutral sections. It's either white or it's red. Somehow they've got their hands on the tickets, the respective sets of supporters.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Looks sensational.
Hit forward by Robertson. There's Firmino. Sissoko was in there for Tottenham. Now Danny Rose.
You know, if you look at Trent, he's got a problem. Because Dele keeps kind of floating between his position. He's got Son on his shoulder. It's between Matip and himself, whether they go in and press on Dele or whether they just remain in their positions. It's clever from Dele, the positions that he's picking up, because he's causing that back four a few problems.
Alexander-Arnold the favourite to get to that one first. And that is going to be a goal kick to Liverpool. The two Premier League matches this season were both won by Liverpool with a 2-1 scoreline. Both games included late goals as well. Spurs have a poor recent record in matches against Liverpool, but of course tonight's a one-off, and it's how you handle the occasion, how you respond to the pressure, early pressure put on Tottenham by the Mo Salah penalty.
That's all that's happened though, actually, Flex. Liverpool haven't been particularly good in the first 15 minutes. I know you're saying that the 1-0 up. They haven't kept the ball good enough at this moment in time. Jurgen Klopp's been shouting and screaming at his players the majority of time.
Forward by Matip. Sadio Mane challenged by Alderweireld.
He's doing that anytime they do have any type of possession, though, and it's hurting Tottenham. That run forward from Mane, whether it's behind Trippier, in that occasion then it was kind of in between Alderweireld and behind Vertonghen, and they find him. It just kind of just nudges Spurs a couple of yards back, makes them worry that they have to play a little bit deeper because of it.
There's Henderson. Alexander-Arnold fancied the shot, hits it well enough as well. Right across the Tottenham goalkeeper, Hugo Lloris.
Yeah, he strikes a nice ball, doesn't he? Hits it well. Lloris always had it covered from that distance. It was a nice hit from him.
Just love the responsibility he takes on, Maka. You know, there's no thought there of, oh, I'll play the safe pass or get the ball in. He's thinking, get that at my feet and hit it.
The game's going to have to stop here because we have someone on the pitch.
See, there's plenty of movement on it. Keeper had it, didn't he? From that type of distance.
Yeah, he's got it covered, but it's more the mindset.
Yeah.
It's positive. You know, we was talking about Christian Eriksen before, and it was like, get the ball out your feet and whip that in. It's completely different there with, you know, the mindset of Trent.
Interesting night for the two captains tonight. What a 10 months it's been for Hugo Lloris, who was the captain, of course, in the World Cup final back in the summer. And here he is, the captain of Tottenham in the Champions League final at the end of the subsequent season. And Jordan Henderson joins Emlyn Hughes as the only player to skip a Liverpool in back-to-back finals in the competition. Little touch by Fabinho there to Henderson. Here's Robertson, his first chance to charge forward down the Liverpool left. Sissoko doing the job that he's done so effectively all season for Tottenham Hotspur.
He's brilliant at that, Sissoko. Uses his body well, he's strong. Been a standout player for Spurs all year, as you said, Fletch.
Harry Kane to Christian Eriksen. Now here's Son. It's 1v1 here. It's good defending again. Well read by Alexander-Arnold back there. They've managed to pull Virgil van Dijk out of position there, Spurs.
Yeah. Great opportunity for Spurs.
Now Dele Alli. Harry Winks. Eriksen. Henderson was in a really good position there. He read the situation well, hadn't he, the Liverpool captain? He was fully aware that Son was behind him.
It's great play from Spurs. Really, they've been much the better team since the goal.
Harry Kane waiting for the cross, but that's far too near to Alisson.
Just all the little overloads they're creating in that midfield area. I just felt that Son just needed to be a bit more patient when he goes through there. Just wait and just kind of see what else develops.
Just square him up a little bit, that's what he wanted to do. He tried to move it too quickly.
Liverpool just seem to be struggling with the rotation in that midfield area, with Dele coming a little bit deeper. Winks isn't playing just next to Sissoko, he's going high at times. Can take a while to figure out sometimes as a player.
There's the Liverpool scorer Salah. Now Firmino. Salah can have a shot which took a deflection and brings Liverpool another corner.
Yeah, he had to take the shot on. He's having a conversation with Mane about passing it, but he had to go. And there's the nice Spurs move. As you say, he just could have took his time and squared Trent up, but it's too easy for him eventually.
You see what he's trying to do, but yeah, he just needed to have a little bit more disguise on it, be a bit smarter. Just slow him down and then go again. He's usually great at that, Son.
Virgil van Dijk on his way forward here for the Liverpool corner. And it's Alexander-Arnold again on duty on this side. And the usual throng of players in front of Hugo Lloris. A little bit deeper this time, but dealt with effectively again by the Tottenham captain.
Right on the money, the corners, aren't they? Right into that area. He's done really well, the keeper.
It's something they've highlighted though, Michael.
Yeah.
They've had a look at it and thought, get on him. Let's test him, see if he can handle it. He's answered the question so far, Hugo Lloris.
Salah tussling over there with Vertonghen and was keen to shoot again after his turn.
He just couldn't get it under control. He showed real good body strength again, didn't he? Just to roll Vertonghen. He's very, very good at that. He's just absolutely slashed at it.
Liverpool are the team that bring the much better recent form into the match tonight. Their only defeat in the last 14 games was the semi-final first leg against Barcelona. It's a big contrast to the way that Tottenham finished the season, although they did play their best football in this competition. Sadio Mane, Gini Wijnaldum. In by Robertson, it's a good ball, it was well dealt with by Danny Rose. Had to defend the far post for Tottenham really solidly there, the England left-back.
Yeah, great ball by Robertson. But he did his job, didn't he, Danny Rose?
It's a horrible one, that, for a left-back, because you're just waiting for that wide player just to be kind of flying in, because the ball was that inviting. It was saying, come and head me. It stood strong and got a good clearance on it.
So much delivery from the right and the left from the two Liverpool full-backs. They're such an important part of the attacking play for Liverpool, and here's Robertson involved again. Now Mane. Defended by Trippier.
It's nice though by Mane, at least he's driving him backwards into the box. And that's the danger area, isn't it? Can't touch him once he's in there, but Trippier did well. I mean, this is nothing different, but the cross is exceptional.
A slightly different setup this time for the Liverpool corner, and they've taken it short to Henderson, worked it back to Robertson, and then headed away in there for Tottenham by Winks. Robertson's caught Trippier there.
A flailing arm, wasn't it?
It's completely accidental.
Yeah.
You know, you do that as a player. When you turn, you get your arm out, you're protecting yourself. It's not... No.
Yeah, it's accidental, isn't it?
I would say from Liverpool's point of view, they may not be on the ball as much, or as keeping possession as much as Jurgen Klopp would like, but they just seem a little bit more ruthless at the top end of the pitch. They seem just a little bit sharper. The runs they're making, Mane in particular, causing a lot of problems.
Mauricio Pochettino in consultation there with the referee Damir Scamina. I mentioned the work he's done on the Tottenham players' minds. One of the tasks they had to do as a squad was to walk over hot coals in the build-up to this Champions League final. They've tried all kinds of things to make sure they're at their mental sharpest. And we'll see whether it pays off over the course of 90 minutes or maybe a little bit more. I'd like to see you, player, have a go at that.
Did they have shoes on?
Oh, no, not at all. There's Toby Alderweireld and now Moussa Sissoko. Last touch there off the Tottenham midfielder. It's a Liverpool throw. Showing character in this competition this season is nothing new for Tottenham. They were essentially out of the competition 5 times on the way to the final. Well, barring the last 16 win against Dortmund, they were on the ropes in pretty much all of their games from match day 4 onwards. So I suppose you'd say they're in pretty familiar surroundings at the moment.
I think you can tell that there's a calmness to them still. It's obviously a disastrous start to concede so early, but they seem to settle in quite quickly. Question marks over whether the occasion would be too much for this team. Never been here before. Not really seeing that at the minute. They seem like a group of players who feel like they belong, which is all good signs in terms of what Mauricio Pochettino has built.
It's the kind of start to the match we probably expected as well, Steve, isn't it? The fact that both managers and both sets of players, both teams know each other so well.
Yeah, I think so. They know there's no information you can hide from either manager. When they were trying to analyse this game, as you rightly said, Fletch, everybody knows everything about the players, don't they? It's who performs on the night, who's got the mental capacity to get it done.
Alderweireld out for Trippier, and off Robertson. But don't forget, we've got 52 matches in the Premier League exclusively live next season, which is more than ever before on the channel. And we've got the BT Sport Film State of Play tonight from 11 o'clock. It's the latest in the series of BT Sport films. It tackles some key topics in the modern game, and that's well worth a watch from 11 o'clock on 2HD tonight. Son looking to get in behind here, and he's been able to do it. The offside flag up after that.
It's really late, that, isn't it? It's really late. You just start getting excited and then they put the flag up like that. I mean, it's a tough one. It takes a good run, though. And I mean, it's really tight as well. I mean, be interested to see a better angle, but that's what they need to do more of, I think. Anytime they're passing it around, that's nice, but kind of more penetration especially on that left-hand side. Those little flighted balls from Alderweireld can be a problem for Liverpool to deal with.
Decision's gone against Spurs. It's a foul on Sadio Mane.
One thing you would say is that the referee was right on it there, wasn't he?
Jurgen Klopp, who's lost his last 6 cup finals that he's been in as a manager. He's hoping it's third time lucky in the Champions League final tonight. Liverpool with this free kick with Trent Alexander-Arnold stood over the ball. Sissoko managed to pull his head out of the way just in time.
I think he got his hand out of the way just in time as well. I don't like that at all.
Does anybody like that?
Well, then, you know, Manchester City are very good at it. I just, you feel like there's mistakes in there.
It's a foul by Fabinho on Harry Kane. A quiet start for the England captain.
It has been, actually. You know, he had a few early duels with Van Dijk, which Van Dijk won, and he's kind of managed to win a few himself, coming short and being strong, but I'm not really seeing the movement that I'd like to see, taking Van Dijk the other way.
Van Dijk with an awkward one there to Robertson. I presume you agree with the fact that he's in from the start, do you, Harry Kane, Jermaine?
Well, I think, you know, with Harry Kane, it's about that chance. And when that chance arrives, he's the one that you want on the end of it, and he's the one that you can guarantee will stick it away in the big moment, because he's done it so many times. So you can't disagree with Maurizio putting him out there. If he did take him off, at the minute, in my opinion, it wouldn't be because he's tired. You know, because the game really hasn't been like that. There's been a lot of this type of thing, passing it around at the back and in midfield, and whether he's saving himself and just kind of building himself into it, we don't know, but it's about that chance with Harry Kane.
It is 53 days since he last pulled on the Tottenham shirt, injured in that challenge with Fabian Delph in the quarter-final. Alderweireld across there just ahead of Roberto Firmino. Fabinho helps it on. You wouldn't say there's any concern at the moment for Liverpool, Steve, because they've got the lead, but if there is something that they might be a little bit bothered about, shall we say, is that the fact they're not keeping the ball particularly well?
They're giving the ball away uncharacteristically. A lot of times there's no fluidity in Liverpool's play as we speak. Yes, they got a great start, but there hasn't been a number of really nice passes, a couple of occasions, but not much. I've seen them play much better this term.
I think when it's hot and humid as well, you don't want to be chasing the ball. You want to be dictating the pace of the game.
That's nicely done by Danny Rose. That's not so nicely done by Danny Rose.
There's a lot of that going on. It's that wrong decision.
I think he's just saying to Son, like, give me something. Son almost kind of just stayed in between. He didn't make a great run. He didn't stand still and say, give it to my feet. It wasn't a great ball, don't get me wrong, but I think he just wanted a run from him.
And Danny Rose, one of 7 players in the 2 squads tonight, who'll be joining up with Gareth Southgate's England squad for the Nations League semi-final. It's a giveaway to Sissoko. Almost threaded it through to Son as well, and managed to get him behind Alexander-Arnold. Here's Eriksen.
It's a crazy pass from Trent Alexander-Arnold. Dangerous.
Rose. Oh, Harry Winks. Dele Alli. Oh, Harry Kane. They've been good to that point, haven't they?
Yeah,
Tottenham, and then that penetrating ball is the one they can't find.
He had nice possession. He didn't need to play that pass. Could have easily gone left and kept the ball.
I think there's a point where you just need to simplify it a little bit. Get the ball into a wide area, get the ball into the box. Liverpool haven't been tested with any crosses yet. How many crosses have they put into the Spurs box? A good couple, including the corners, obviously.
It's on by Kane. Here's Dele Alli. He's the wrong side of Robertson. And then Joel Matip was there to block it. Son was coming in at the far post, and Tottenham have to settle for the corner. Ali short to Trippier. Here's Eriksen. And the cross for Liverpool was Robertson. Trippier goes long towards Harry Kane. And Virgil van Dijk with his muscle was in there behind him. It's a strange atmosphere inside the stadium. It started off very, very loud and noisy. It's a strange atmosphere inside the stadium. It started off very, very loud and noisy for obvious reasons, but the fact neither team has really set the world on fire since the Salah penalty has just taken a bit of atmosphere out of the place.
The fans sound as if they've just run out of energy, don't they, watching the game? Buoyant beforehand, absolutely rocking, but they need something to cheer about.
It's given away by Alderweireld to Henderson. Moves away from Rose and then whips in the cross. The ball had actually gone out of play and come back in again, so it's going to be a goal kick to Tottenham Hotspur. Well, there's a couple of big fights on the horizon as well on the BT Sport coming up. Josh Warrington against Kid Galahad on Saturday the 15th of June at 8 o'clock. And the same night we've got the BT Sport box office fight, Tyson Fury in Las Vegas against the German Thomas Schwarz, and that's from midnight on Saturday the 15th. Here's Danny Rose. Now Dele Alli. Another situation, Jermaine, where you would suggest the Tottenham player rushed it a wee bit.
Just need to settle down a little bit in those areas. Just take your time, get your head up, see what else kind of develops. It's just a little bit rushed at times, making too many wrong decisions when they get into good positions on the pitch. A lot of the game has been like that, though. You know, you could say that about kind of Liverpool's midfield area, giving the ball away, just being a bit sloppy at times.
Tottenham Hotspur enjoying the majority of the possession, but it's not been possession that's caused a problem to Alisson in the Liverpool goal as yet. Henderson on towards Salah. Firmino. Salah still out there as the widest Liverpool player, and in actual fact the last touch was off him. It's going to be a Tottenham Hotspur throw-in. Sissoko swings a blind pass out here. There was no Tottenham Hotspur player. Joel Matip gets it through the gap to Robertson, and now Liverpool might well be in business down this side. They took a chance for the pass, the Liverpool defender, but it's allowed Robertson to run forward and hit one. And Lloris had to tip it over the bar. Hasn't scored yet this season, Robertson. And it took a fingertip save by Lloris to get it over.
Yeah, again, it was Trent before. It's Robinson this time. He had to tip it over. But you're right, it was a pass by Matip. And very nearly criticised the goalkeeper for giving it to Matip. I thought it was an awful position, but he made the most out of it, didn't he? Joe Matip, a huge amount of confidence to spray the ball out to Robertson. He did the rest.
He looked like he was panicking initially.
Yeah.
But then he found the key pass, which allowed Robertson to advance and get that strike on goal.
Alexander-Arnold's going to take one from the other side, so it's an outswinger, which is headed away by Son. Salah, and hits it over the bar on the volley.
It's a tough one, that, on your weak side.
Yeah. Well, this would be a concern for Tottenham. Looks like an elbow problem for Jan Vertonghen.
There's the shot. Decent enough save, simple enough. I don't know where he's hurt his elbow, Jan Vertonghen, whether it was the last corner.
Strange one.
He's been in the wars, hasn't he, throughout this Champions League campaign, the Belgian international.
Looks like he's panicking a little bit.
Oh, there it was. His wrist, isn't it? Looks like, yep. And then it's his elbow. Let's hope he's all right. You don't like anybody going off injured, do you? Big game like this.
Lots of conversations have been going on down there between the Tottenham manager Mauricio Pochettino and a whole host of Tottenham players while they were treating Jan Vertonghen.
He seems positive, Mauricio, from what he's seen, and I think rightly so. I think they've been the better team on the ball, knocking it around. I think we've spoke about it time and time again. I'm just a little bit concerned that they're just not being direct enough at times. Just getting to that final third and it's breaking down, or when they can cross it and get shots on, they're not quite doing that. But he'll definitely be pleased with the way that his team have settled in after a tough start.
There's Mo Salah, Jordan Henderson, looking early here towards Sadio Mane. Trippier, the Tottenham defender. Robertson. Now Wijnaldum. Salah back to Sadio Mane, but gave Sissoko the opportunity to make the challenge. Here's Andy Robertson. Spurs have got it back with Eriksen and now Son. There is Jordan Henderson. He's going to strike one. Falls here for Roberto Firmino. Looking to make a bit of room. Finds his captain. Here's Alexander-Arnold. And Danny Rose with a block, and that's a Liverpool corner.
Yeah, Liverpool were quick to pounce on them there.
The relief for Lloris at the moment is that they've abandoned the tactic of surrounding him with as many players as they can at corners. Alexander-Arnold with another outswinger. Salah with another shot. And the deflection in the end has taken it behind for another corner.
It's a lovely defensive header by Harry Kane, I think it was there. Liverpool starting to build a bit of pressure.
Yeah, it's important moments these now for Tottenham towards the end of the first half. Some good work being done after conceding such an early goal. It'd be more bad news and more devastation if they conceded at this point in the game. We need to stand strong here.
A different corner taker, Mo Salah with the Liverpool delivery and Son with the clearance.
You have to miss the front man.
It'll be fascinating to see how this changes tactically the longer the night goes on. I think there's a general consensus that you're not likely to get the full 90 minutes out of Harry Kane, and then you look at how Tottenham would look different with Lucas Moura on the pitch and the kind of movement and speed that he brings to things at the other end.
I mean, if the game stays like this, I see him staying on the pitch, Harry Kane. I think he'll just add to it, Mauricio. He'll just add more firepower to the mix and try and obviously get that goal they're desperate for.
It's a handball. Brings the free kick to Spurs. You've got a feel for him though, haven't you? Hat-trick in the semi-final, then he's on the bench in the final. It's a cruel world at times, football.
Yep.
Kane was looking for the free kick there and didn't get it. Salah can have a run, and Vertonghen's over there for Tottenham. Here's Danny Rose.
That was nice, wasn't it?
Was to Dele Alli. 3-on-3 here. Kane and Son are up there with the England man. Son's made the run, and it wasn't a good enough ball at all by Dele Alli.
You're being polite, Fletch. It was an awful ball by him.
It's usually his thing.
Yeah.
That's usually his thing, that calmness in key moments.
Maybe half-time will do them all a little bit of good, JJ, just to, as you say, just to settle down, have a chat, because moments like that, 3-on-3, you're driving into the penalty area, Liverpool defenders backing off, you have to be better.
Correct. Especially at this level.
He's had a stop-start season, hasn't he, Dele Alli? A succession of hamstring problems, which has meant that he's been in and out of the Tottenham team. He hasn't scored in the Champions League yet this season. It's nights like this where you want your big game players to step up and have big games.
He's definitely one of them, in my opinion.
Robertson just able to reach that one. Harry Kane hasn't had a sniff, has he, so far in this final?
I think the same could be said for Roberto Firmino, who there's fitness worries about as well, to be very honest. Mane's looked dangerous. Salah, of course, has got the goal.
I think he's spot on, Maka. He's been quiet, Firmino. He usually has much more of an influence on the game.
So Sissoko, as we move into 2 minutes of additional time here at the end of the first half. Heung-min Son. They've got a man over on the other side, Danny Rose, but Dele Alli didn't see him. Eriksson, who's normally so much more accurate from that kind of position, had the whole of the goal to aim at and smashed it high and wide.
Yeah, she would have scored. You have to get it on target. And what more can you say? You trust him all day long, wouldn't you, Christian Eriksen, the player he is?
I think it's one of them where, look, you're happy for him to take it on because you know eventually he'll catch one, but he's been one of the players that's probably been a little bit quiet within the team.
I think a lot of them have, to be very honest. I think the second half has to be better quality-wise by both sides.
Here's Kieran Trippier up towards Harry Kane. Joel Matip there for Liverpool, and then Virgil van Dijk.
It's strange. You don't tend to see that a lot from Liverpool. They usually have so much control over those types of situations. Knock it down, pick up the second ball, play out.
You see Jurgen Klopp, he's got his arms outstretched as if he's saying why, because as you rightly said, Jay, normally that's just headed into midfield and Liverpool turn and move forward, but it's panic stations all the time at the moment. Maybe it's just the occasion, a bit of fatigue setting in with the climate.
Yeah.
Here's Son. Cleared away by Joel Matip. Alexander-Arnold over there benefiting from the slip by Danny Rose. A couple of Tottenham players over there indicating the ball might well have crossed the line, but the referee didn't see it that way.
It's another good opportunity there. Winks in another good position.
Didn't look, did he? Didn't
get
twist
his
his head, yeah.
Well, there is the half-time whistle, and it was a handball inside the opening 30 seconds by Moussa Sissoko of Tottenham that provided Liverpool with a penalty, and up stepped Mo Salah, who went off after half an hour last season in the Champions League final, but he smashed his penalty down the middle to give them the lead. It's been a quiet half for Harry Kane, who's not had any kind of service at the other end, and it's Liverpool who go in at half-time with the lead in the Champions League final. It's Tottenham Hotspur 0, Liverpool 1.
Well, it's all been rather edgy so far, hasn't it? But there's plenty still to play for. We'll take a break. After it, we'll hear from Rio Ferdinand, Michael Owen and Glenn Hoddle. We're given the helping hand of a penalty to give Salah a chance to score, which he did. And you're worried for Tottenham at that stage, but they came back well. But it's Liverpool that lead.
Everything gets given for handball nowadays, but that one, it has to be a penalty. I think it's a penalty 10 years ago, and I think it's a penalty when the next new rule comes out for next season. No. You can't put your hand in that position, and if it hits it, you're asking for trouble.
Yeah, but it hasn't. If it hits his arm direct now, you say exactly that, Michael. It hit his side of his chest and then onto his hand. How can that be?
Let's get a referee's opinion. Peter Walton, you're quite clear that you think it was a penalty, and you agree with the referee and VAR that would obviously have looked at it.
Yeah, look, when it happened straight away, we called a penalty kick in the production truck. We saw it straight away. Sissoko's arm is so pronounced, it's unbelievable. And when you see the ball come across like that, yes, it may hit his chest, but his arm actually comes down towards the ball as well. That gives the referee, Scamina, no option whatsoever but to award a penalty kick. And you know, we talk about the law being changed for next year. At the moment, it hasn't been changed, but even under the current law, handling the offence there, as we've seen consistently in the Champions League this season, has been awarded for that type of offence.
OK, there's a slight look, I don't know whether you thought that. I mean, considering where Mane's actually hit the ball, and his arm was up for so long, maybe even tried to hit his arm, because that's what will start to happen, won't it?
It'll start happening soon. Yeah.
Anyway, Salah knocks it away.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest of penalties, if I'm honest. He's obviously gone for power. He's tried to put it over that side. Lloris has just gone a little bit early, and it's the power that beats him. If it's a little bit slower, the reaction time of Lloris will save that. But unbelievable start for Liverpool.
Yeah, Pochettino played Kane, but it's not quite worked for him.
Yeah, he's not had the ball. He doesn't seem to be. He hasn't moved as much as you'd like him to move as a centre forward. He hasn't really ruffled the feathers of Van Dijk or Matip at all, and nothing's really fell for him. I think he's had like 11 touches in the first half. Only Wijnaldum's had less touches. But these are the questions that we had before the game. Is he going to be fit enough, mobile enough, sharp enough? He has a bad tackle there, but you'd like to see more in the second half from Harry Kane. They get in these areas, movement. You want some movement, some sharpness around it in the penalty box.
Yeah, I don't know about Harry Kane. From 22 footballers, it's been a poor game.
Yeah,
we can't say.
I wonder if it's the 3 weeks affecting them. Maybe they'll liven up in the second half. Let's hope so. But so far it's 1-0 to Liverpool. Slightly lucky break, lucky start, but they've made the most of it. Salah popped it away, and Tottenham have it all to do. But you know, it's been that kind of Champions League season. Who knows?
This programme is brought to you by Walkers, UEFA Champions League sponsor.
Morning, David. All ready for the 10 o'clock?
All good.
And now, ladies and gentlemen,
oh God,
the time has arrived.
Thought he wasn't in today.
This is the main event of the morning. Tyson, the Gypsy King, Fury.
Say that again, I can't hear a word with this racket going on.
Don't forget, BT Sport subscribers can watch this game in HDR for the very first time on the BT Sport app, available on compatible mobile, tablet, Xbox, Samsung and Apple TVs, giving you better pictures and colours than ever before, apparently. Pochettino's had a few words with his team at half-time, but actually, given the start, given the nature of the start and the disappointment of the start, Tottenham actually got themselves back into it to a degree.
They were the better of the two teams, but let's not kid ourselves. It's been a poor first half in terms of quality, so we hope that goes up, the levels go up, and we get some more excitement out of this. I mean, we build this as an entertaining game to come. It's been everything but that so far.
Both sides look like they've gone without a game for about 3 weeks.
Yeah, they do. It has been a little bit disjointed. There's been a lot of long balls. I actually think Liverpool's main danger is Mane in behind Trippier. I think if they can keep, he's making some really good runs, Mane, so far. I think that's a real danger. And similar on the other side, actually. I think Son has got in behind Trent Alexander-Arnold a couple of times. Trent's been brilliant going forward, but a couple of times he's let his man just run inside. So I think they're the two areas for both teams.
Would you change anything if you're the Tottenham manager, Glenn?
He can't change it because it's about the final ball. Both teams have made so many mistakes, and at the end of the day, it's going to be someone who gets a chance. Harry Kane's done nothing in the game. He's got up his game. Normally, you have one team that dominate, and you think, well, that team will come back in the second half. They both need to up their game.
Well, they're coming out for that second half, and be interested to see if it does come in. Obviously, the stakes get higher. Tottenham will have to push it. It'll open up a little bit. It always does in
it does. And it's a substitute is going to have an impact on this game. And Lucas Moura scored a hat-trick in the series. You'd have expected to start. He hasn't. He'll have something to prove when he comes on. And he'll add pace, which is very much needed, and directness for this Spurs team.
Okay, well, just the one goal scored so far, and it was by that man, Mo Salah. Not for the first time, of course, for Liverpool. Let's get ready for the second half with Steve McManaman, Jermaine Genius and Darren Fletcher.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, fellas. Well, Tottenham were in a deeper hole in the semi-final in Amsterdam and were able to come back and get the job done. Liverpool ahead here without really finding any sort of rhythm in the first half, and neither managers made a change at half-time, so it's as you were with the second half about to get underway. And I've got to say, it's not got any cooler whatsoever inside the stadium. It's absolutely stifling inside the Metropolitano here in Madrid. Jermaine, what do you think that Tottenham will try and do better or differently in the second half?
Look, I think on the ball they've been decent. You know, they've kept the ball, have looked composed, but kept going to it at the top end of the pitch. I need to see more. I need to see more from Harry Kane. I want to see more runs in behind. Stop coming to the ball every time. Test that Liverpool defence going the other way, and something else might happen. You might get a different result, because at the minute it's just it's fizzling out at that end of the pitch for me.
Better decision making by Tottenham when they get into that final third. The final pass has to be better. The cross needs to be swung in at times from a different angle. They have to improve, but Liverpool are the same. Flex, they have to improve, Liverpool.
You've played in enough of these down the years, Steve. The boys were saying there that they do tend to open up at some point in the match, and we'd expect that to happen in the second half.
Yeah, of course, with fatigue. They'll be a yard slower as the game carries on. You expect chances to be made, mistakes to be made as well. But it has to be better, it has to be lively than the first half.
There's the Tottenham right back, Kieran Trippier. Threads a nice ball down the line there to Heung-min Son. And can have a go at Robertson for the first time in the second half. Trippier's ball in. Here's Dele Alli. He didn't get enough on that. Harry Kane was waiting in the middle.
He struggled to read the flight of it. He's right on cue, Dele, and that's the position you expect to see him. If the ball's a bit flatter, got a better flight on it, could have given Matip a problem.
Spurs starting the second half behind. I think I'm right in saying that they haven't been ahead at half-time in any of their Champions League matches so far this season, yet here they are in the final in Madrid. Here's Harry Kane. Moves away from Joel Matip now. Can he pick someone out of the middle? Son was his intended target. Dele Alli had gone into the Liverpool penalty area too. That's a wee bit better from Harry Kane.
It was poor by Liverpool. It allows him just to control the ball, turn from a 50-60 yard punt. There's miscommunication between Matip and Trent.
There are quite a few things happening out there tonight that is out of character for the two teams that we're seeing.
Yeah, very much so, and you're kind of asking yourself the question, is it the occasion? Is it the heat? Because it is, you know, it's very hot. People maybe a bit more tired than we actually expect them to be. We see two Premier League teams and you're usually going toe-to-toe. They're going right at it. Game seems much slower, much more like a European style of game.
It might be worth pointing out as well that both of these teams have gone 3 weeks since they last played a competitive match. Liverpool did have a practice game behind closed doors against a B team from Benfica last weekend, but Spurs have just been on the training pitch. They look like two rusty sides, don't they? Teams that haven't got the kind of invention and fluidity that we used to see.
Yeah, but most of the time that happens, Fletch, for the English sides. There's always a break after for the FA Cup, isn't there? And then there's always a break after that for the Champions League. So it's nothing unusual. As I said, I think it's just the occasion, that's all it is.
Matic wins his header above Harry Kane. Dele Alli can't keep it in. Doesn't seem to be any lingering problem for the Tottenham defender Jan Vertonghen after that arm issue towards the end of the first half. Firmino's header back towards Fabinho, and Liverpool eventually concede the throw into Tottenham.
Jurgen Klopp must be just thinking, what am I seeing? What is going? It's so unlike his team to be so erratic.
It's Harry Kane who was fouled there by Wijnaldum. Free kick here to Tottenham.
Yeah, it was a foul as well.
It's the Tottenham supporters you can hear inside the Metropolitano. They hope that Harry Kane can have a big impact in this second half. Flip forward here by Trippier to Son. And then Vertonghen. There's an important block in there. The flag's gone up now. Of course, it's this desire to leave the VAR window open, which is why offside decisions take that little bit longer. I think we all thought in the stadium he was offside right at the start. There he was.
It was easy to see, wasn't it?
I kind of get that, but you know, can you imagine that strike from Vertonghen just smashes someone in the nose and breaks their nose? Just because we need to open this window up for VAR.
I wish somebody opened the window in here. Let some air in.
I'll tell you one decision I think that Maurizio has got right, which did seem like a risk at the time, is the involvement of Harry Winks in today's game. I think he has been the midfielder that has dictated the tempo of the game, and just to add some context to that, he's had 33 passes today in comparison when Wijnaldum's had 8 in that midfield area, and I think Henderson is also sat on 13. That shows the level of the level that he has in that midfield to be able to just take the game, and Spurs have needed that, which is why they've had most of the possession.
Sissoko gets it through here to Eriksson. Tottenham on the move, and they've got plenty forward here. Here is Harry Winks, who Jermaine was talking about. Robertson over there to defend it. Defended it effectively as well. Hasn't been too many times in the match where Spurs have had the numerical advantage when they're attacking like that, but yet again they can't make enough of it.
What I would say is both times that Trent has kind of been tested with that overload, and also Robertson, they've answered the questions, they've stayed calm and both made very good defensive decisions.
The space spotted out here by Robertson, and it's with Trent Alexander-Arnold. It's a good early ball in as well that was just a little bit too far ahead of Salah.
What a ball.
Now Mane, Wijnaldum, Roberto Firmino. Fabinho spots some space and hits the shot, and the deflection and the save by Hugo Lloris. such a fantastic delivery, hasn't he, Trent Alexander-Arnold?
Yeah, bursting forward like that and crossing it in, all in the same movement. Superb.
Away by Matip. Wijnaldum. It's a good ball to Salah. Firmino and Mane are coming up there. Salah went himself. Sissoko can't keep a hold of it for Spurs. Here's Henderson. Fabinho. Robertson. In towards Mane. Good goalkeeping. Hugo Lloris had to get down there and collect it cleanly.
Yeah, brilliant by the keeper. No wonder they've got so many assists, Liverpool's fullback. Trent prior, Andy Robertson then.
He had to be so precise though, Hugo, when he came out to collect that. Just bounced just in front of him as well, and his timing to come out and help his defence was spot on.
There's Dele Alli looking to ghost in behind them, and he's got it down, Dele Alli, good block. Trent Alexander-Arnold, and then tidied up by Henderson.
Yeah, that run again, JJ and Dele Alli, causing all kinds of problems.
I think it's the one. I think, you know, Mane's been doing it for Liverpool. Dele's the one that has always done it for Spurs when he's in this position, when he's allowed to play much higher up the pitch. Just got to keep doing it. You can see that he'll get in.
Both managers have 3 substitutes apiece, warming up on the touchline down below us. Steve said in the first half that the timing of the changes could be key in the heat here tonight in Madrid.
Yeah, well, it looks like Origi's going to come on, Fletcher, I think.
Advantage played here. Danny Rose was fouled. It's with Christian Eriksen and then cleared away by Matip. Danny Rose has stayed down here for Tottenham. The referee had a long look at it and thought about the free kick and then allowed the game to carry on.
I think he just said play on. It was a poor ball from Eriksen in the end. I think it's a good position for a free kick, I would say that. I think I'd have taken the free kick over the advantage in that situation.
Yeah, it's a foul, wasn't it?
Lazy from Trent, defending there, just hanging his leg out, but this is what this guy's brilliant at, just popping it into that space. Look at that from Hugo. I think he thought about punching it at one point and it just started to drop towards the ground.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who comes off for Liverpool. Might be Firmino. He's the one who's been struggling, hasn't he, for fitness.
Liverpool supporters know that their side at the moment are the team in control of this Champions League final. Danny Rose back on his feet for Tottenham, still moving rather gingerly down there. Sadio Mane was looking for Wijnaldum. Here's Son now. Might have to do it himself up there in the main, Son. Trippier's arrived to support him. Andy Robertson gets it behind for the corner.
Yeah, good play, good positive play from Son. He's got himself into the box as soon as possible, but Robertson stood up to the task again.
It's the cue for Alderweireld and Vertonghen to join the likes of Dele Alli and Harry Kane in the Liverpool penalty area. Harry Kane in the Liverpool penalty area. Corner taken by Trippier, punched away by Alisson. Rose with the shot, and the block by Salah puts it out of play for another corner.
And Kane just kind of throws his body into Alisson there. A key moment when he was about to get a clean punch on it, which made life a bit more difficult for the keeper.
Danny Rose for the corner from the other side. Headed on and headed over.
It has to come back into the danger area, doesn't it? He wasn't getting enough purchase on that to threaten the goalkeeper.
Well, he called the change, Steve.
Yeah.
Roberto Firmino, who's been really off the pace.
Yeah, he has, yeah.
Hasn't he, tonight?
Yeah. You speak about Lucas Moura, the hero of the semi-final. Origi, certainly the hero of that Barcelona comeback, wasn't he? Getting 2 as well as Wijnaldum, so he certainly deserves his chance.
It's a real tough one though, Macca, isn't it? I mean, Firmino, been one of Liverpool's best players for a good few years now, and you know, the pivotal moment, injuries kind of just took that away from him to be able to perform the way that he would have liked to have performed.
More sloppy play, this time by the Liverpool goalkeeper Alisson, who just kicked it out of play. That was the big decision for Jurgen Klopp coming into the final tonight, whether he went with Firmino, slightly less than 100%, or went with Origi, the man who scored 2 against Barcelona in the semis. And the decision now to change it and see what kind of effect it has on Liverpool. Winks towards Rose, in went Henderson. Jordan Henderson is the first Englishman to captain a team in the Champions League final since Frank Lampard did it with Chelsea back in 2012. Alderweireld towards Kane, headed away by Van Dijk. Robertson towards Origi and straight through to Hugo Lloris.
The game's going like this, from Liverpool's point of view, there's enough experience on that pitch to have a look at each other and go, hang on a minute, let's find a 5-yard pass, make more angles for each other, let's make ourselves available. I don't see just long balls getting thrown forward like that with Liverpool ever.
There's Winks, got it taken off him by Henderson. Mane then looking for Salah, for Tongan away, then Alderweireld. Poor touch by Wijnaldum. Sissoko. It's a game that is there for one of these teams to grab it by the scruff of the neck. Danny Rose, Harry Winks. Christian Eriksen. Here's Son, and now Dele Alli. Son. Eriksen, a little bit of space for Eriksen, hits it straight at Van Dijk. Eriksen on the ball again. Dele Alli looking to turn it round the corner and puts it out of play.
Tough one. He's running at pace towards the ball and he's just trying to be a bit creative and get one round the corner. Just couldn't take the pace out of the pass.
Yeah, it looks like Liverpool are making another substitution. Looking down. Gio Wijnaldum looks out on his feet as well at times. I think that was Milner, wasn't it, there coming on?
He's been poor, Wijnaldum, along with probably most of the players on the pitch, unfortunately. But he's just, particularly in my opinion, just he stood out that little bit more. I'd expect he'll be the one to make way.
So the second Liverpool change is imminent. I suppose the big dilemma for Pochettino at the moment is when he makes his first change and whether that's going to be Lucas Moura.
I think it has to be. I think at some point he's got to look at it and think, you know what, let's roll the dice, let's go for it. Because as we just spoke about, the game is there to be won. You're never going to come across a Liverpool team performing as badly as this in such a key moment, I don't think, ever again.
And it is Gini Wijnaldum who will make way. It's not been a night for the heroes of the semi-finals so far. Wijnaldum, who got himself a couple of goals off the bench against Barcelona, but he's made no impact at all, has he, tonight?
As JJ said, a lot of players have not fluffed the lines to a certain extent, but certainly haven't given their best. That what we've seen. These are high-quality players who performed all year. It hasn't been the case today. I know that'll all be forgotten by whoever lifts the trophy. Performances don't matter, it's just winning.
Matip's got the free kick there. Having tussled with Harry Kane. It's 3 attacking players who are warming up for Spurs at the moment. Eric Lamela, Fernando Llorente and Lucas Moura.
And don't write him off either. I mean, we're talking Lucas Moura, but don't write off Fernando Llorente. He's had some key moments in this competition for Maurizio, done some big things, whether it's assists or key goals. He's been a big player.
It was Divock Origi looking to take matters into his own hands, and Danny Rose back there for Spurs. His physicality in the second half in Amsterdam was a key, wasn't it, for the Tottenham comeback, Llorente?
It allowed them to be more direct, and at times today they have kind of overpassed at times, and I just think when they have that ability with Trippier on the ball or Danny Rose to go, you know what, let me fire it into his chest and play from there.
There we go, JJ.
Lucas Moura got the nod by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Winks did really well there under pressure from Divock Origi. Brilliant. A real composure. A nutmeg then by Danny Rose on Trent Alexander-Arnold that might get mentioned when they join up with England.
Great covering that from Van Dijk though, because the ball was spot on. You just kind of you've seen it coming a long way away.
Launched forward by Van Dijk. Liverpool have been happy to play that kind of ball tonight. Salah was looking for the free kick. Vertonghen was adamant that one shouldn't be given, and that's the way it's gone.
Yeah, they've had a little decent tussle there.
Winks tussling with Henderson. It's a sign of his place in the Tottenham pecking order, the fact that he missed 6 matches and he's come straight back into the side when fit for a Champions League final. A young man that grew up a Tottenham Hotspur supporter, living the dream on a big night like this in the white shirt of Tottenham.
I mean, the amount of times both teams have just gone back to front, it's frightening at times. No options at all through the middle. Everything is just getting... The midfield is just being completely bypassed.
And Lucas Moura is ready. He might just receive 1 or 2 more instructions from his manager before coming on.
Interesting one, this one though. Whether it's Kane that makes way, he is the player that's not really done much in his time on.
Well, we're about to find out. It's actually going to be Harry Winks who's going to go off Jermaine.
Well, that surprises me, given he seems to be the one with the composure to get on the ball and allow Spurs to kind of build up. I think he's probably been one of Spurs' best players, but at the same time he needs to do something. He needs to shake it up a little bit, and one of them was going to be sacrificed because the rest of them are all capable of scoring goals.
So the semi-final hero for Tottenham Hotspur is on. Lucas Moura, who has scored all of his goals in the Champions League this season away from home. And he gets all of the credit, of course, for the hat-trick he got in the semi-final in Amsterdam, but he also scored that key goal in Barcelona on match day 6 to make sure they got through to the knockout stage as well. He's a different type of player that brings a different type of problems to the Liverpool defence.
And also it's allowed Christian Eriksen to go back into the Harry Winks position and try and get on the ball more, try and dictate play.
He's actually better from that position, I think, Christian Eriksen.
Here's Divock Origi, Sadio Mane. Now Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's got Mo Salah on this side with him. Well, it was fizzed off the head there of Alderweireld behind for a Liverpool corner.
Anytime he gets it, Trent, he's just got one thought in his mind. Where's the gap? Where can I get this into? Toby Alderweireld kind of reads it, gets something on it.
Alexander-Arnold out to take the Liverpool corner. It's another poor one. And the quality of set pieces tonight has left a fair bit to be desired on both sides. Important challenge in there by Jan Vertonghen. Mane hits it straight at Dele Alli, and then Alexander-Arnold plays it behind for a goal kick.
It wasn't a bad ball by Alexander-Arnold, but Origi was so flat-footed, didn't know what was behind him or who was playing him onside.
Well, don't forget we've got 52 matches live next season in the Premier League. It's the most Premier League matches we've had in a season on BT Sport. We're really looking forward to that getting back underway in the early part of August. Don't forget the BT Sport film tonight as well, State of Play, that's going to deal with some key topics in the modern game. That's well worth a watch from 11 o'clock on 2HD tonight as well. Here's Mane, skips away from Dele Alli, and he'll have the speed here to move him away from Eriksen. It's a good run this by Mane. Salah, Milner with an opportunity, just wide. Hugo Lloris wouldn't have had a chance.
Yeah, brilliant by Mane. Skip past Eriksen really easy, too easily. This is all right, Eriksen's fine here. But then there's just a little drop of the shoulders and goes inside him. Milner pulls the shot, Origi was in it as well. You see.
There's a few gaps starting to appear now in that midfield area. That's what I was trying to explain about Liverpool earlier on. As poor as they've been, they've been more potent in those types of situations. They get a shot off, they get a cross in, they do something that looks dangerous. Whereas at the other end, they've not been able to do that, Tottenham.
Spurs are hoping now that the substitution, the change of position for Eriksen can maybe give them that bit of creativity in slightly deeper areas to get the likes of Harry Kane into better goal-scoring positions. Here is Kane. Rose. Matip missed it. Milner was behind him. Well, the Spurs supporters were shouting penalty. There wasn't really anything in the way of an appeal from the Tottenham players.
Usually tells you a lot.
It's that phase of the match, though, isn't it? 20 minutes to go, that there is a need now for Tottenham to get the foot on the accelerator.
Yes, there is, but Liverpool are kind of just... They're allowing Spurs to have a lot of the ball, but in my opinion, they're just not quite doing enough with it, Tottenham, and that's the problem. It's kind of like, at what point do you just really go for it?
It's a good ball by Vertonghen to Trippier. Trippier with the cross. Harry Kane had made a different run. Kept alive here by Danny Rose. Lifted back in, taken away from Moura by Milner. Trippier, and then Alisson.
I think he's done something to himself here, Trippier. Doesn't seem happy. Yeah. Hamstring he's holding, I think.
Mo Salah's away.
Yeah, Liverpool will carry on here while Trippier sorts himself out. Salah. Mane coming in. Vital challenge by Alderweireld.
Was a vital challenge.
Yeah.
I think Sissoko threw himself at him, and looks like he may have done some damage to himself as well.
Let's hope it's just little bits of cramp, JJ.
Yeah. I mean, Trippier's must be cramped, because you know when you've pulled your hamstring.
Yeah. Well, Danny Rose has gone down as well. He's just sat down too.
Hopefully he's just having a rest.
Spurs at the minute have got 3 players, all with problems. Kieran Trippier, Moussa Sissoko and Danny Rose. And that's how easy it was for Salah to get in.
Yeah, but great ball by the keeper, by Alisson. Just takes a deflection.
I mean, he could go down there, Mane.
Yeah.
Could easily go down, and I think the penalty would have been given. I'm not sure Sissoko got enough on the ball. These are kind of some key moments in the game, obviously. Milner just shifting it on his left. Unlucky with that one.
Well, they seem okay, don't they, all the Tottenham players? Trippier seems okay.
Just wonder with Danny Rose, I've been watching him ever since he had that challenge on him by Alexander-Arnold at the other end. I wonder whether there's still a bit of a problem for him from that. Of course, you might get a situation with cramp tonight. It's so hot in here. I know we keep mentioning it, but if you're a player down there with the amount of work they've got to do in this kind of heat, it will pose a problem at some stage for 1 or 2 of them.
Especially when you've had 3 weeks off, even off the back of a regular season. You're just not quite, the conditioning's just not quite there. Oh my word.
Well, Lloris was a lot more confident than you, Jermaine.
I mean, it was lovely in the end, outside of the boot.
Eric Dyer's just been sent out to warm up. Ben Davies has been warming up as well. It's been a case of Tottenham getting defensive players down there in case they're needed, and then Lloris was happy to gather that one in front of Mo Salah. Just got the feeling about it at the moment in the game that something's about to happen.
Yeah. I hope so.
There's a little touch by Son to Kane, and they've got runners here. Heung-min Son, and then Dele Alli lifts it in, spinning all the way through and into the arms of Alisson.
I think Son has to take the responsibility here. He seemed to create the angle for himself. Just slow down now.
Yeah, it's difficult from Dele Alli.
See what he's going for,
Yeah.
but needs far more to get that dinked over Alisson into that far corner. I think we're having a drinks break, or he's technically, gifted enough to do that and pull that off, but just falls right in line with everything that really Spurs have done in the game so far at that point. I think this may be a three at the back type situation. I think he'll completely change the system here. It wouldn't surprise me if he did.
So Sissoko off and Dyer on.
It must be an injury. It has to be an injury for Sissoko.
It's ironic, really. We were listening to Mauricio Pochettino in the build-up to the final. He was saying that his team is the fittest that it's been all season in terms of players. He's got everybody fit for the final. They've had so many players injured during the course of the campaign, and now they're dropping like flies here in the final.
Yeah, it was just Sissoko before on the challenge by Mane. He looks as if he just pulled something.
It's worth pointing out, though, with 16 minutes to go, that the two Premier League matches between the two teams this season did include late goals. It's been Tottenham's calling card, hasn't it, really, in the Champions League as well, scoring goals in the last 10 minutes of matches, or even later on some occasions.
Yeah, that will sit well with them. The fact that they've been there, they've done it, they know that if they stick in it, that belief remains that they can get the goal that they need.
There's Mora, hasn't been able to get into the game since coming on, and he's given it away now to Robertson, who can pick out Salah. Liverpool have got bodies forward here. It's floated in. It was dealt with in there by Alderweireld, and now Mora can lead the counter-attack for Spurs. Dele Alli, Heung-min Son wants to take on Van Dijk, and he's powering through here. Van Dijk, though, has that little extra yard of acceleration and makes a typical Virgil van Dijk tackle for Liverpool.
Did well, Van Dijk there, because I think Son just threw him off.
Spurs looking to play quickly here. Eriksen to Kane. Kane away from Henderson. Drills one through. Milner with the block. Kane again. Nobody there but Van Dijk for Liverpool. And then Mane. Here's Trippier. Hamstring seems okay at the moment. Alderweireld's ball. Handball by Son after the misjudgment by Trent Alexander-Arnold, who got away with one there.
Trent has got himself in a terrible defensive position. Took himself completely out of the game. Don't know how that's hit Son's hand. There's another look here. I'm not sure. Not sure he did, to be honest with you.
There's the challenge from Van Dijk. He's never on the floor, he's never slide tackling us. He's always just making sure, making the right decision.
Yeah.
Christian Eriksen. Less than 14 minutes of the Champions League final to play. Liverpool still with the lead, given to them very, very early by Mo Salah from the penalty spot. Good defending there by Vertonghen.
Yeah. Just need one big moment. Spurs. They've been able to find it so many times this season.
Dele Alli on the run, and Alisson with a really good starting position there to claim it for Liverpool. Fernando Llorente has been sent back out to warm up again. Lamella's still out there doing his thing.
I have to say, all players look absolutely shattered. Shattered.
Yeah.
Definitely had a huge impact on this game, and the tempo of it. It keeps teasing you, and then taking it away. It's just not quite getting to that level of expectancy.
Eric Dyer. Dele Alli. Eriksson to Rose.
Don't go backwards from there, from the halfway line.
There's Vertonghen. Ali. Now Rose. Harry Kane. Harry Kane still waiting for his first chance of the final. It's a good ball out there to Trippier now. Tottenham trying to get bodies into the middle. Dele Alli was one of them. And it was a cross that was just a little bit too high for him.
Yeah, I don't know whether the goalie gives a foul there, Fletcher, or whether he's just pointed for a goal kick. Yeah, I think he's given a foul. Whether he thought it was a little push on Joel Matip there. Yeah,
little nudge. He actually should do better once he gets the space, to be honest with you. He wasn't reaching for it too much. It's right on his forehead.
A couple of fights to tell you about. Warrington, Galahad. Josh Warrington, Kid Galahad. They're both on Saturday the 15th of June. That one's at 8 o'clock. 1HD and 4K UHD, and on BT Sport Box Office Tyson Fury in Las Vegas from midnight. Son, good foot in for Liverpool by Henderson. Here's Origi. Well spotted there by Toby Alderweireld.
It wasn't a good ball, though, Fletch. It was an easy ball to play to Mo Salah.
So much space to knock it into, didn't he? He could put it anywhere. Apart from there.
Must be so frustrating for the two managers, but doubly frustrating for Mauricio Pochettino, the fact that his team is still behind in a game like this. Here's Son. Son with a shot, good save. First real job for Alisson, and then Moura! And he's down to make another one. One Brazilian denies another Brazilian, and Liverpool stay ahead.
Well, it's woke those fans up. It's a big moment, especially for Lucas Moura. And what he's been doing, just couldn't quite get it out of his feet enough. He almost had to toe poke it to get the power up.
Alderweireld steps into a ball that was on its way towards Salah. That little flurry by Spurs have just raised the spirits amongst their supporters behind Alisson's goal. Less than 10 minutes of normal time to play, and Liverpool still with the advantage. Here's Son, gets away from Fabinho, and then hits a tame shot straight through to Alisson.
The thing is, this should wake up Liverpool now, because Liverpool are giving the ball away all the time, and Tottenham are just making it. All right, not great chances, but they've had a couple of chances in the last 5 minutes.
You feel like you can feel something happening, if you know what I mean, from Tottenham's point of view.
There's a mistake there by Vertonghen that's brought a corner here to Liverpool. Lloris unable to get across and prevent it.
This was nice, wasn't it, by Son? Nice hit, simple enough save from the keeper. But when this falls to more, they just can't get the purchase on it. But I've never seen Jurgen Klopp and his staff, not just Jurgen Klopp, so animated. Almost an exasperation at times, his team's play.
So Fernando Llorente for Dele Alli is the final change that Pochettino can make in normal time. If it did go to extra time, both managers can make a fourth change. James Milner out to take this Liverpool corner in front of the Liverpool fans, headed away by Son. How many times have we seen a corner dealt with by the first defender? Oh, Robertson's header. Vertonghen away. Here's Henderson. Henderson, well, he saw the headlines, didn't he, Henderson there?
I'm not sure why.
Here's Kieran Trippier. Tottenham have less than 8 minutes of normal time to find an equaliser. Liverpool moving towards their 6th Champions League final win. Eric Dyer. Christian Eriksen. Now Trippier. Kane waiting in the middle. Llorente's in the middle too. There's extra height in there for Tottenham now. Danny Rose caught there by Milner. And the decision does go Tottenham's way. Danny Rose was trying to say that the challenge took place in the penalty area. Of course, they will check it.
Had a long look at that, didn't he?
Yeah.
The ref.
They'll check it to make sure it's in the right spot.
No, it's outside, isn't it?
Yeah. It's definitely outside.
It's a foul. Just took his eye off it, didn't he?
It's a position that you feel that Tottenham have to take advantage of.
He's moving the ball, Eriksen. He's trying to get it into a better position to have a shot, and the refs let him have it by the looks of it.
Just changed the angle slightly, hasn't he?
Well, I'm telling you, you move that ball just a couple of yards to your right-hand side, all of a sudden you're shooting instead of crossing it.
Christian Eriksen kept Tottenham in the Champions League with a goal 10 minutes from time against Inter Milan on match day 5. Is this the moment where he keeps them alive in the Champions League final?
Has to be heading on target towards that back post. Has to. Make Alisson punch it out. Have him make a save.
It's Eriksen, and it's a good free kick. It was well saved by Alisson.
Was a good save.
Was it going on target?
I think it was just sneaking wide.
Yeah.
By just a little bit. Struck it well. It's just off the line. He was probably trying to hit, but it's still a good save by Alisson.
He's been the busier goalkeeper in the last 10 minutes. Pochettino wants that little bit more from his team. 5.5 minutes of normal time to go. Alderweireld, Vertonghen, Dyer, Llorente, Kane, big players in the Liverpool penalty area for Tottenham. And it's in towards Moura, and it's headed wide by Son. Flag was up anyway.
Yeah. I don't know who misses the ball for Liverpool. Let's have a look. Goes over to Origi, I think. Yeah, misses it, but as you can clearly see, Moura onto Son. He's on an offside position. There's the hit from Eriksen. Whether it was bending in, the keeper had to make that decision, make the save.
The thing is, I think Moura's chance is the chance, not the Son offside. I think you know, it's a difficult one. Don't get me wrong, but if he gets good purchase on that,
Salah didn't gather it. That's so unlike him.
Well,
launched forward by Lloris and straight through to Alisson.
This game's been so strange.
I was just going to say exactly the same thing.
So strange.
Here's Andy Robertson for Liverpool. Put behind by Danny Rose. He wasn't too sure where Mo Salah was.
He did well, Rose.
Did you?
Because that was difficult. He's running forwards towards his keeper. Keeper wasn't coming out. He had to make the decision, and he made it the right decision. Again, nice ball by Robinson into that danger area, but he has to do this, Rose. Liverpool in the right area of the pitch anyway in the last 5 minutes of the game.
This isn't ideal at all.
Means that Spurs will have to defend this set piece without Toby Alderweireld. In fact, the referee is allowing him to come back on.
Yeah, well, that's good anyway, isn't it?
Milner out to take the corner. Son with a header again. Van Dijk on the follow-up. Vertonghen's arm was raised in there. Origi with a chance, and surely that wins it for Liverpool. Divock Origi, semi-final hero against Barcelona, is the hero in the final for Liverpool against Tottenham. Spurs 0, Liverpool 2, and surely the championship of Europe is Liverpool's.
Scruffy goal, indicative of the game really, but you know what, they don't care. The hero against Barcelona has just slammed one in with his left foot.
know, I think you can say kind of what you want about Divock Origi and the performance of Liverpool today, but you have to say he's so clinical at times in those moments. Sloppy from Spurs, they couldn't quite get it clear. It's Matip who keeps it alive, but the minute that drops onto his left foot, such a clean strike, Maka, into the bottom corner.
Just a touch onto his left foot and a hit. Precise, right across the keeper, no chance. You see here, he can't clear the lines. Eric Dyer, Vertonghen, then it falls to Matip, as you said, JJ, lays it onto Origi. I don't like that, the defenders with their arms behind the back like that. I know they're worried about penalties, but go and close the ball down.
Well, he hadn't scored in the Champions League until he got 2 against Barca, and he's got to help himself to 1 in the final as well. And then the ball bounces off Fernando Llorente at the other end and spins behind for a goal kick to Liverpool, who are 90 seconds plus stoppage time away from reclaiming the Champions League trophy.
Yeah, Joe Gomez is going to enter the fray.
And he's going to come on as well for a man who's been so important for Liverpool this season, Sadio Mane, his best goal-scoring season as a Liverpool player, as we see the vital moment for Origi again.
Yeah, they just don't clear the lines. Couple of chances they have, but you can't say anything about the finish. That was all quality. Just shoves it onto his left foot and smashes it right across the keeper.
It's clinical. They've been more clinical in those types of situations. That one hits the back of the net. The ones that haven't, they've like tested Lloris or they've gone near. Yeah, there's not. Spurs haven't had enough of those moments. If this game finishes and it stays as it is, which it looks like it will do, it's one of those what-if games, and that's the worst possible feeling you can have as a player and a manager.
Look at Becker, Alisson Becker. Look at Virgil van Dijk when that went in on the floor.
Vertonghen's header to get the ball away from Salah. Alderweireld back to Lloris. It's so often a game and so often a night, the Champions League final, where a world superstar is the man that everybody's talking about the following day, but it's an unsung hero they're going to be talking about in Liverpool tomorrow, and his name is Divock Origi.
Yeah, we spoke about Liverpool's front three. It's a different front three to a certain extent. Firmino's gone off and Origi's on. Well, you've got Salah and Origi. And JJ said Liverpool more clinical up there. That's all it has been. Because they haven't overpowered Tottenham in the middle of the park. They've been defensively strong, Liverpool, but just more clinical up top.
It is going to mean as well that a season that's been so impressive by Liverpool standards, the fact they were so good in the Premier League, so consistent in the Premier League, they are going to finish the season with a trophy. They're less than 5 minutes away from the full-time whistle.
It's really poor. This stage of the game, the straight balls into Alisson to collect, allow him to slow the game down, get your team up.
What do you think it is, JJ? Do you think they've been affected by the occasion? Tottenham.
Gomez has lost it here to Harry Kane. Matip with the challenge. Damian Kamina unimpressed by the Kane fall.
No, I'm not sure it's the occasion, Maka. I think in terms of like on the ball and possession at times, they've been better than Liverpool in terms of that. I think at the top end of the pitch they've looked pretty blunt. They never really, I think, shown any danger.
It's a miscued clearance by Matip that brings the corner here to Tottenham. Here's the challenge on Kane by Matip.
No penalty. Dangles his leg out once it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
There goes the corner. It's a Liverpool head that was in the middle of all of that. Now Danny Rose. Rose with a shot on his right foot and a comfortable save there for Alisson. It's going to be the 6th win in the competition for Liverpool, and the first trophy for Jurgen Klopp as the Liverpool manager, having lost 3 previous finals with the club. He'll join Bob Paisley, Joe Fagan and Rafa Benitez. It's another face, isn't it, on the Mount Rushmore of Liverpool European Cup winning managers.
Absolutely.
Unless we have the most dramatic of Champions League final finishes, and there's a good save by Alisson. A shot that was just moving across him from Son.
It's good play from Son. Very good. It's a little bit too late. unfortunately, by the looks of it.
Eriksson with the corner, headed away by Matip. Here's Rose. Kane. Kane shot straight at Alisson.
Yeah.
Well, they can't say they haven't had opportunities.
Yeah, but not
in the second half of the second half. But I was just about to say that you took the words right out of my mouth, Steve. Nothing really clear cut.
They're allowing Kane to go on his left foot and shoot. You see Van Dijk, he's allowing him to go in there. It has to be something special to beat the Liverpool keeper.
And 12 months on from the heartbreak in Kiev, that awful night for Karius. The night for Gareth Bale when Real Madrid won it again. Liverpool back in the Champions League final, and this time it's going to be an altogether different story for them.
Yeah, and that man there clearing his lines. He's going to go down in folklore. Jordan Henderson, he'll be the one who lifts the trophy. Along with the names you said before, Emlyn Hughes and Phil Thompson, Steven Gerrard, and the rest.
You'll never walk alone, ringing around the Metropolitano Stadium, with Liverpool just over a minute away from victory.
Yeah, it hasn't been pretty, but it's been effective, it's been clinical. You got the job done.
I think, you know, that is also the difference. You know, to play poorly and be able to win in the big moments. It shows the level that this team Liverpool are at.
And Salah. James Milner's forward for Liverpool as well. Divock Origi too.
I tell you what, he's not found a pass since he came on. It's a good job he stuck that one in the bottom corner.
Good job he scored, isn't it? It's like, just run to the corner flag, see the game out, thank you very much.
Well, the passing's not been great, but the finishing's been clinical, and Liverpool have a new super sub in Europe that they'll talk about for years to come.
You know what, Fletch, that's all that matters.
I think when they get back in the changing room, Steve, they won't worry too much about where the passes went.
No, and rightly so. It's all about lifting that beautiful trophy up. The managers are shaking hands.
Well, there it is. It's Liverpool's night. Silverware is the currency of success in football, and Liverpool have just hit the Champions League jackpot. It's number 6. It's a brilliant night for the team, a group of players that's been so good all season. And with the former captain looking on and celebrating, Liverpool have won the greatest prize in European club football. Jurgen Klopp has taken Liverpool back to the top of the mountain. It's a magical night in Madrid for Liverpool.
Yeah, it is. Being the outstanding team this year, the level of football has been fantastic. And I'm glad they've been rewarded with this trophy. It hasn't been the greatest game, hasn't been the greatest advert for the English football, but because of the climate, because of circumstances, they will not care a jot. They've got their hands on this.
Well, 14 years on, Steve, from that memorable night in Istanbul. It's another win. It puts them ahead of Bayern Munich and Barcelona with 6 wins. Only AC Milan and Real Madrid have won the competition more than Liverpool, who are having their name engraved on the greatest trophy of them all in European terms. And amid the celebrations, we should spare a thought for Tottenham, who have given us a magic carpet ride of drama and emotion on the way to the final. But they were nothing like their old selves tonight, were they, Jermaine?
No, they weren't. But I think we need to remember, Fletch, that those players, you know, they've done their club proud. The journey that they've took the fans on to this moment here, the journey that manager has took the club on, never been done before. And although it didn't quite happen for them tonight, I'd like to think they'll be back. I'd like to think that this is a key moment in Tottenham's history where they can feel, actually, we belong at the highest level now, and try and maintain that.
Well, the looks on the faces of the Tottenham supporters tell the story. It's Liverpool's night in Madrid. A team that's been so consistent all season. They've hardly lost a game in any competition. And they will finish with a trophy, and they will come back and complete unfinished business, having lost the Champions League final a season ago. Sadio Mane with a big smile on his face, the celebrations well and truly underway, and of course they've got the job now to try and build the celebration area as quickly as they possibly can, which is actually a sight to behold. And there are the Liverpool supporters, Steve, who you can associate with celebrating their success.
Oh yeah, you see some of them on the phones cheering the boys on. they'll remember this day for the rest of their lives, won't they? There's some young kids out there, and they'll never ever forget this, and rightly so.
Mauricio Pochettino going around to console his players. Jurgen Klopp with that familiar wide smile on his face. He's got a trophy at last as the Liverpool manager. He'd lost 6 finals in a row coming into this one tonight. He's going to be as relieved as anybody that he's finally won one.
Yeah, he's got one. No one can level that criticism at him now. He's brought the big one home. Was so near in the Premier League. But yeah, spare a thought for Tottenham and that great manager there, Pochettino. He'll have bigger and better things in the future, won't he? Wonderful manager.
He will. But I think, look, Liverpool have been brilliant, haven't they? For a couple of years now. You know, for Jurgen Klopp, he's one of those managers like Mauricio that you can't help but smile when you see him. And it's great that, you know, his team have had this moment. They got pushed. They pushed City so far in the league. It's a good moment for them, and Spurs will learn from this. They really will.
Well, let's get some reaction. It's Liverpool reaction. Des Kelly is down there on the pitch with 2 happy men, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Mo Salah. Des.
Thanks very much, Darren. Mo, if you can hear me. You probably can't hear me. I think you should join that celebration. We'll come back to you. We don't want to rob them of that moment.
Well done, Des. Good of you to let them join in. Fabulous moment for those players, of course. The 6th European trophy that they've won in terms of Champions League and the European Cup. They've done it. It may not have been their most exhilarating performance, but in many ways it's a meritorious reward for a truly outstanding season. Liverpool, the winners of the Champions League, Rio, by a scoreline of 2-0, which I do believe you predicted.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah, I did. You're right there, but no, listen, I think it wasn't the most entertaining game, but we've all played in getting finals. It's about getting over the line and winning a trophy. Not one of them players, not one of them fans will care how they play today. They got the job done. This man in the picture there, Klopp's been to many finals and been on the losing side. To get over the line by any means necessary is the way to do it. And this season they've been fantastic. And if they'd have finished this season without a trophy, it'd have been a devastating blow for this football club. But now this could be the start of a successful period of winning trophies for this club. They're set up, they're primed for it.
Michael, great moment for you. Liverpool man, of course, through and through. Fabulous.
It's absolutely brilliant. And listen, Liverpool have played so well all season, and what have they been given for it in the Premier League? Nothing. So who cares if they played well? Who cares if they played poorly? You know, the main thing today was getting over that line, as Rio said, getting your hands on that trophy, because this team are an unbelievable team. This is their cycle now. They have to win trophies while they're at the top of their game, and they've gone and won the big one right for starters.
We can see Harry Kane there, pretty distraught, as you would imagine. He came back, it didn't quite happen for him, didn't quite happen for Tottenham. A step too far, perhaps, Glenn?
No, I don't think it was a step too far. They were the better side, without a doubt. I mean, Alisson probably was man of the match. But for me, Liverpool do deserve to win something. I just wish it was the Premier League, not tonight. But they play. I said at the beginning, they played poorly. They can play poorly and win. Tottenham couldn't, but they were the better side tonight.
OK, well, Des Kelly's got his 2 men back. He can rejoin Mo Salah and Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah, take 2. We'll do that again, shall we? That was worth it. I think it was worth the run. Mo, all the tears of last season, all the disappointment of last season's final, all wiped away tonight.
Honestly, I don't know what to say, but everyone is happy now. You win a final. I'm very glad to play the second final in a row and play 90 minutes finally. So everyone did his best to win the game, and I think it's not an individual performance for anyone, but all the team were unbelievable today. Congratulations to all of us and all the fans around the world.
And of course it was a VAR decision, or a VAR check. This week you were telling me you didn't like VAR, you like it now?
What I said is, it's for me, for us, and again it's us. But now basically I said we're gonna see the VAR next season, but I like it anyway now. So yeah, it's a great to win the game.
And a wonderful moment for you. When you think back, you used to travel 9 hours to go and play football, 4.5 hours each day, and this is the reward you're getting.
Yeah, I think so. I sacrificed a lot in my career, especially go from my village to Cairo to play football and come back. To be an Egyptian in that level for many years is something unbelievable, so I'm very happy and very glad for that.
I'll go join the celebrations. Trent, come on in. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're a European champion. You're not even 21 years old yet.
It's hard to even put into words what's just happened and the celebrations that are going to happen tonight. I think the season we've had, we've deserved it more than any other team, and I think the run that we've had, we've beat everyone in our path, and we've done something special again tonight. And obviously, an early goal and a late goal has finished them off, and we've probably been dominated through the main part of the game, but we've shown we're a world-class side and we can win anyway.
It was kind of a sluggish game in parts. Why was that? Is it the conditions? Was it just a bit of the fact you had a 3-week break?
I don't know. I don't think any of us are even bothered about that. I think when we look back on tonight, we're not going to think it was a sluggish game. We're going to think we've just won the European Cup and we've just done it for all these fans.
What does it mean to join those legends, those Liverpool legends?
I don't know. It's hard to think of myself as a legend. I think, obviously, for me, I'm just a normal lad from Liverpool whose dreams just come true.
Absolutely right. Go and enjoy yourself.
Thank you.
I'll throw back to you for now, guys.
Well, that's the scene from way above the Metropolitano Stadium, and inside that stadium they're getting ready for the presentation of the Champions League trophy, and that trophy will go into the hands of Jordan Henderson, the Liverpool captain. The Liverpool fans, as you can imagine, are enjoying these scenes. The fans are saluting their players. The players are celebrating, and overall they've had such a wonderful season, Rio, even if today wasn't their best performance.
Yeah, and they've been on their knees a couple of times in this tournament, and they've shown the spirit, the character to come back. And again, we speak about where does that come from. The manager sets the tone, and the way that they've performed all season. When the chips were down, they found a way. And they've managed to perform. And listen, these guys now don't go down in folklore. These are legends, living legends right now.
They certainly are, and one of those living legends will be Divock Origi, the man who scored the second and all-important goal, of course, with a cracking finish. He's with Des.
Thanks very much. Divock, you've done it again.
We done it. I think it's first about the team. I'm happy that I could play my part, but every single guy fought so hard today. So it's just special. You can see the fans. It's a special day for Liverpool.
I can see people wrapping you up here behind me. Look, they're taking you away for the celebration. We'll talk afterwards, perhaps.
Okay,
you do enjoy it, though.
I'll see you later on.
Well done.
No problem. Thank you.
Look at the emotion in those supporters. The UEFA president moves on to the stage, getting ready for that trophy presentation. Glenn, a word on Tottenham, though. Where does that leave them? Obviously massively disappointing tonight. Didn't quite happen for them.
They can leave this stadium proud.
Yes.
Because it's the first experience of a Champions League. For me, and I'm not saying they were the better side on the night, Liverpool deserve something over the season without a doubt. They're a great side, but they didn't turn up tonight for whatever reason. They got a bit lucky with the handball, in my opinion, and they scored late on. The best quality of the game was Origi's goal. The finish was excellent under pressure, and in the end, you know, it was a disappointing night for Tottenham. They'll learn, and I think the question is, can they ever get back in the near future to this level?
Well, Alisson made 8 saves, and Lloris only made 1, which says a lot. There's Ian Rush, of course, a Liverpool legend, walking up and going to plonk that trophy onto its plinth. What a moment this is for Liverpool. They are good at this competition. That's 6 victories, of course, and they deserved it for a marvellous season that they've had. There's no question about that, Michael.
Yeah, they have. They've been brilliant, absolutely brilliant all season. You know, you go through it. They had a little bit of struggle in the group stage to get out the group, but once they got out of that, then it was brilliant. The performance against Bayern Munich was sensational. Of course, no one will ever forget the performance against Barcelona, and hopefully a few people forget the performance today because it wasn't their best. But it doesn't matter because they're going to get their hands on that trophy for the 6th time. It's an amazing achievement.
It was a bit of a shame that it wasn't a more exciting game in many ways, Ken. It wasn't the best advert for an all-English final. It kind of, at times, looked like an old First Division match from the mid-90s, or 80s, I should say.
I've never seen two Premier League sides make so many unforced errors and mistakes. First half particularly, was very, very poor. There was a reaction from Spurs, to be fair. They reacted in the second half, and they got hold of the ball, they had the momentum of the game, and you know, to play a side that didn't play well against you and still lose 2-0, that's a problem in a final.
Okay, well, they're getting ready now. Of course, the players moving forward. The losing side first. Tottenham Hotspur go ahead. So let's rejoin Darren Fletcher.
Thank you, Gary. It's been quite a journey, hasn't it, for Tottenham Hotspur, written off so many times in the Champions League this season. They reflect on Christian Eriksen's goal against Inter, Lucas Moura's heroics, of course, in Barcelona and Amsterdam, and of course the drama of the VAR in Manchester. And you've got to spare a thought for those Tottenham Hotspur players tonight, Jermaine, who came here with such hopes and expectations, but take the loser's medal from the UEFA president, Alexander Seferin, who's up there handing them out on the podium.
Yeah, look, I feel for them. You know, they've been brilliant, especially within this competition, and this won't feel nice. And these are the types of moments that, you know, there's a young team, this Tottenham team, but walking by this trophy, it will sit with them, and hopefully it lights a fire, you know, for them to want to come back to this stage and do it all again and lift that, because, you know, I agree with Glenn. I thought tonight they were the better side, but unfortunately Liverpool had the ability to get it over the line, and by not playing well.
It's a walk that the Liverpool players made themselves 12 months ago. They walked past the trophy on the way out and couldn't touch it, and they walked past it to pick up losers' medals at the end of the match and couldn't touch it, and it was an inspiration for them throughout the season. And we know for sure that Tottenham will be in the Champions League next season. They've qualified by right through the Premier League, but it's not their night in Madrid tonight. But it is Liverpool's, and there's a beaming smile on the face of Mo Salah, who scored the first goal so early in the final. Jurgen Klopp, who gets a winner's medal around his neck. It's been a brilliant season, which is capped off by this brilliant night in Madrid for Liverpool, a team that deserves a trophy after a campaign of excellence at Anfield and abroad. It's the first trophy of any description for them for 7 years, and 14 years on from Istanbul, they add number 6 to the collection, Steve.
Yes, and as the lads in the studio said, they deserve it. They've had a fantastic season. The heartbreak of last year has been quickly dispelled, and that's what good teams do. They come back, they regroup, they bring in new players, which Liverpool did. The manager had to be ruthless in changing the keeper, which he did. And they've come back bigger, badder and better, and they're there now, and they've got their hands on that wonderful trophy. And as they said, 6 times in the history of Liverpool Football Club now.
Saw a medal around the neck there of Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, who's had to fight his way back all season from injury. Jurgen Klopp joins Bob Paisley, Joe Fagan and Rafa Benitez as a Liverpool manager who has seen his team win this trophy. And Jordan Henderson, in a few moments' time, will follow in the footsteps of Evelyn Hughes and Phil Thompson, Graham Souness and Steven Gerrard, and become the first Englishman to lift the trophy since Frank Lampard did it with Chelsea in 2012. And there is the Liverpool captain, who has the all-important job of picking up the prize. Well, they walked into Madrid with hope in their hearts, and they'll walk away with the greatest prize in club football. Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool's king to the Kop are champions of Europe once again.
Great scenes here in Madrid as the trophy is lifted by Liverpool's captain Jordan Henderson. And brilliant scenes. Fireworks are going off, and I imagine the party will go long into the night. And now they're singing that famous Liverpool anthem, "You'll Never Walk Alone," but I don't think they'll walk alone tonight, that's for sure.
This is beautiful. So yeah, the Spurs players will want to get back here, I'm sure. Just they're in a position that Liverpool was in last year. They've done it, they've come back. They deserve this. These players need to enjoy this moment.
Such a difference in emotion, such a contrast in emotion from this time last year, Michael. The difference between winning and losing a final is so enormous.
It is, and the perseverance has got to be applauded, from the manager right the way through to the fans as well, because they've turned up in their droves and they've been entertained. This team has been a brilliant team for a good few years now. It's only right that they won a big one. I think they're going to kick on and win more, but it's great that, I suppose, when you win this trophy, you've achieved like a lifelong ambition. Okay, you can win the League Cup, the FA Cup, there's other great competitions to win that are amazing in your career, but this is a trophy that you can look back on for the rest of your life, and as Rio mentioned the word before, these are all legends now.
They've done generally, not necessarily this evening, but with great style, Glenn. They've played so much wonderful, high energy, high octane football under Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah, tonight they know they weren't at their best, but it's a sign of a very, very good side. If you play nowhere near your best and you still win a cup final, that's incredible.
But you know what? Is the difference perhaps between this Liverpool team and perhaps the one a year or 2 years ago? That they can win games even when they're not at their best?
Maybe, but there's one big factor. One goalkeeper last year, think about how he performed, and the one that performed tonight. There you go. There you go. Big difference, and that can be the difference between two teams. No, they're a fantastic side, and it'd be interesting to see where they go from now, where Klopp goes with this team, if they can challenge City again in the league, and they're a wonderful side. For me, forget about the way they played tonight. If you're down 3-0 against Barcelona, possibly the best team in the Europe, and come back like they did, that's where they won this trophy. As they're holding that trophy up, it's the Barcelona performance that they've got to think about.
I think one thing that will come out of this season, the Barcelona game, winning this, getting their hands on this trophy, the spirit that they've showed, this team's going to be a feared team in Europe especially. We said at the beginning of the season, no one wants to pull this team out of the hat, because they're away from home, they're a threat with the three boys they got up front, but when they go to Anfield, Anfield has now become a fortress. For many years, teams went there and there wasn't no fear. Now, there's fear. They've produced big results, and from behind as well.
Yeah, but it was unfortunate for the Premier League and two of the sides, but particularly the first half, to see a game like that in the final of the Champions League. There's a lot of clubs and players around Europe would have been looking in, going, "Oh my word."
At the same time, they have seen these teams play some glorious football.
Absolutely, but this is where the stage is set for top players, and they just didn't perform on the day.
It's something right. The performance will not be something that's talked about in years to come. I mean, I played in a game. I don't think it was a great game against Chelsea. We won the game. I could care less. You get your hands on it, and these players won't realise quite just yet how much their status will just go through the roof now.
Champions League winner.
And it will go through the roof. In time, as the years go on, it will grow even more. And good luck to them. These boys deserve it.
Well, there's tens of thousands of the Liverpool fans hanging around here right until the end. I'm sure the celebrations are going on in Liverpool. There are, I think, 3 separate arenas where the game is going to be shown to a massive crowd. And they'll all be enjoying seeing them lift that trophy 6 times, Michael.
It's phenomenal, and a huge dollop of credit needs to go to Jurgen Klopp, because everybody's saying he's never won anything at Liverpool as much as all this great football, and you could just hear it, couldn't you? If they didn't win today, it would have been, yeah, great football, but still hasn't won anything.
What a great job he's done.
What a great job he's done. What a great man he is. Everybody loves him, from fans down to the tea lady, and of course the players. And he's come in and he's done such a good job, and you can't say this wasn't coming. He's built and built and built, and this Liverpool team are as good a team as they've been for a long, long time.
You've managed at the very top yourself, Glenn. Give us your opinion of what job Jurgen Klopp has done for Liverpool.
I think all them things that Michael said is absolutely true, but he's built this team. He's been given good support, money-wise, financially, but for me, it's the way that Liverpool play, and it's such a shame for him about the individual performance tonight. But the way they play, the tempo that they play, the system that they play suits the players. It doesn't change the system many times, Klopp. He don't swing into a 3 at the back when it's not going so well, but he knows what he wants from the players. The players have clarity. They have clarity when they go out on any game for Liverpool. They know their jobs, and they've got good individual players that can win games from nowhere.
clearly a special word for James Milner there from his manager. He left him out of the starting lineup, came on, did a job.
James won't care really. I've got my medal. I've got on the pitch at the end. One thing I think as well is that before they got lifted this, players would have been saying the top players, could they get them? I would have said they were out of reach for the top echelon of players. I think now, getting their hands on this trophy, Liverpool have gone into a bracket now where they can then compete now for the top players on the transfer market now, which is a danger for other teams.
Strengthen though, they've got brilliant. Perhaps midfield possibly would be the only area we'd say they could. I mean, that front three, you wouldn't really want to replace them. The back four, especially if Gomez probably comes back in, they're going to be some team to deal with again next season, aren't they?
You spoke about their boys coming in and getting players, but the problem with the difference is he's shown now he improves players. We spoke about it earlier, didn't we, Michael? The likes of Milner improved even at his age. Trent coming in as a young kid.
We'll get your opinion on that in just a second, Michael. Actually, you can have that opinion now because we thought we got Jurgen Klopp, but I think we've lost him. But we'll get him in a minute, I'm sure.
Well, I think the sign of a great coach is one, obviously getting everybody together and buying into your work. But I think if you look at this team, look 5 years ago, look at the likes of James Milner, Jordan Henderson, Robertson, Trent Alexander, obviously wasn't it? There's so many players in this squad that were decent players, very good players. Now they're absolute world-class players. Amazing job he's done.
OK, we can hear from Jurgen Klopp. He's with Des.
We've got you at last. Could drag you out of the crowd. European champion, how does that sound to you?
Actually, I'm so happy for the boys. I'm so happy for these people, our fans. I'm so happy for my family. They suffer every year when we go to a final, last game of the season, and we lose it. So they deserve it more than anybody because they are so supportive like they are. Did you ever see a team like this fighting with absolutely no fuel in the tank anymore? Both teams, obviously. Tottenham came up, changing offensively and all that stuff. And then you have a goalkeeper who makes difficult things looking easy. Very nice. Thank you very much. It's unbelievable. What a night. The night will be much better now. We have to do interviews a little bit and showing the cup to the people. But it's maybe the best night of my life, professional-wise.
I can see you enjoying it so much. And what does it mean to deliver a trophy? Because people can't say, oh, you haven't won a European final anymore now, can they?
Yeah, sorry. So, yeah, it took a while, obviously. We tried a lot of times. Oh, it's important, of course, for our development and improvement, because it's always like we are doing good steps, but then people say, yeah, but so far you didn't win anything. So this little mark helps a lot. So now we can carry on. Look, it's our owners as well. So they never put pressure on us. They're only supportive, really. And then you can deliver this to John, Mike, and Tom. It's brilliant.
Go and enjoy it, drink it in. Normally at this point, if you win a German trophy, you get beer poured over your head. We've had none of that yet, have we?
I don't know. I thought always when I win, I'm 20 minutes after the game already half pissed, but I didn't even get the water. No, sorry.
Go and have a drink.
You've got to love Jurgen Klopp, haven't you? I mean, you really have. And no, I'm not going to apologise for his bad language, not in the slightest. Oh dear. They're enjoying it, aren't they? Those Liverpool supporters. I don't think they're going to leave the stadium anytime soon. Michael, what does it mean to these Liverpool fans? You know them so well.
Yeah, I mean, it means everything. Listen, at the start of this season, if I'm brutally honest, Liverpool wanted the Premier League trophy. That's something that they haven't had for a long time. But, well, you know, Manchester City was such an astonishing team, and I think Liverpool lost nothing in defeat. But in this competition, they've had no peers. They're a great knockout team. Rio mentioned the influence of Anfield as well. You know, it's they've got the tools to go deep in every tournament. They're just a top team now, and they're here to stay.
He's just won the Champions League, and when it settles down and he gets in the dressing room and they're going home, he's going to sit there and think, well, how do we improve it? I don't really need to have to improve it too much. Maybe one player. There's a lot of teams out there, apart from City and Liverpool, that have got rebuilds all over the place. If Tottenham had won tonight, that wouldn't have been, oh great, we can rest on our, we got the squad. They've got to go out and improve the squad and go deeper. Chelsea, so it's a lovely thing.
I know it's Liverpool's moment, but Tottenham have. they've got to spend this summer, haven't they? If they want to continue this competitive streak.
Yeah, and I think there is the money there for Tottenham. They've done a really good deal on the stadium. So at the end of the day, there will be money there for Maurizio. Who he's going to buy, I'm not sure. If they'd have won tonight, he might have been able to go and shop a little bit higher. But he's going to get players in and make that squad deeper. That's what's hit them. Listen, that's the 20th game this season they've lost. That's not good, is it? You've got to improve your squad if you've lost 20 games in a season.
I'll tell you one thing about Klopp, though. He don't mess about. You have to be able to run in his team. You see him on there when Salah wasn't running, his main man screaming, beating the ground in front of him. He has athletes. This is a modern-day team. If you're looking for a modern-day team, this is it here. Runners, athletes, dynamic, pace, power, and then they've got the guile as well to back that all up, and the heart.
It's one of the beauties of the game in the Premier League, particularly at the moment, that the differences in style perhaps between Liverpool and Manchester City, the two obviously clear outstanding sides in the English League this season.
Yeah, they are different, but they're both as effective. And you can see one of them's won the Champions League this year, one of them won the league, and they're going to battle it out for the next couple of years, I'm sure.
So as the curtain comes down on a fantastic football season, a little reminder that there's plenty still to come here on BT Sport in 2019.
Do you have the courage to stand up? Give me the strength to face my demons and forge my own destiny. Allow me to walk my own path. Give me the courage to accept my weaknesses, to learn from every victory and every defeat. Watch me stare down the barrel of failure and scream! I will not go gently into the night. I will not let my past define me, nor waste another opportunity!
We are out. Take you guys.
Seize this moment and face your future. Let go of your past and step forward into this moment. History is unstoppable.
Lots to look forward to, but the story here is that Liverpool have won the Champions League trophy. It's their 6th European Cup. What a night to be a Liverpool fan. What a night to be a Liverpool player.
Brain cells. Brain cells, what are you still doing here? Whatever it isn't worth it. We've all got to know our limits. Time to switch off. Come on, big fella. Enough's enough. Heed your hunch and bet the responsible way.
Superfast Fibre is so reliable, it now comes with a Stay Fast guarantee. Which means we'll give you £20 back if your speed isn't everything you've been promised, morning, noon and night. For broadband that's fast all of the time, not some of the time. New Stay Fast guarantee from BT.
Hey, what's with the light show?
It's an intimidation display.
Consider us very intimidated.
We opened Pandora's box, and there's no closing it now.
Long live the king.
Godzilla, King of the Monsters, in cinemas now.
It's a grab adhesive, hold adhesive, stick just about anything adhesive, all-weather adhesive, Gorilla heavy-duty grab adhesive, for the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
They didn't think they'd get this far, or meet them, or him, or realize just how fun a road trip could be. They discovered a new favorite food, a new favourite view, and made some new favourite memories. Book your flights, hotels and car hire on Expedia and travel like a champion. Expedia, ATOL protected.
Do you want to see Dad's new car?
Yes.
What do you think? What's wrong?
I don't like it.
But it's got an all-wheel drive system that can take us almost anywhere.
But it hasn't got any rocket.
It has got a 5-star NCAP safety rating. It's one of the safest on the road. It's got to count for something, don't you think?
But it's not this.
It's a really reliable car. Maybe one day you'll get to drive it. Well, I like it.
The 22nd of June. A rabid Bellator fan base from SSC Arena, Wembley. Middleweight champion Gegard Mousasi looks to defend his title against undefeated jiu-jitsu ace Rafael Lovato Jr. Plus, Paul Daly comes home.
When I fight, people get knocked out. Simple as that.
And featuring Irish superstar James Gallagher.
Oh, gee, who's real?
Bellator MMA live from the SSC Arena, Saturday the 22nd of June. Tickets available now at AXS.com and Ticketmaster.
Enjoy hundreds of slot games at 32red.com, including favourites like Immortal Romance and Thunderstruck 2. And big-name games like Highlander, with a jackpot of over 500,000.
Are champions of Europe once again.
Great pictures, great scenes, and they continue. The Liverpool players march their manager shoulders above them to do the bumps in front of his own Liverpool supporters. And do you know what? I think he probably quite enjoyed it. There he goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 times. And then he celebrated in front of the Liverpool supporters. Marvellous scenes. There you go. One of the most enthusiastic football coaches I think I've ever seen. Now let's hear from the Liverpool captain, Jordan Henderson.
What I was saying was the manager inspires that kind of feeling and that emotion, which is a very special gift.
Yeah. Like I've just said before, without the manager, this is impossible. You go through tough times, through seasons, but what he's done since he's come to this football club is unbelievable. Not only the players that he's brought in to make the squad stronger, the players that were already here, he's made better. And such a togetherness in the group, and he's created a special dressing room. So yeah, all the praise, everything goes to the manager.
A little special moment for you as well, one that will live forever. You walk up to lift the trophy that Emlyn Hughes picked up twice, Phil Thompson once, Graham Souness once, Steven Gerrard, and now they're adding your name to that list. That's fantastic.
Yeah, you know, I'm just so, like I said before, I'm so proud to be part of this football club. I've been here a long time now, but to captain it is even more special for me, you know. It means everything to us, football, since I was a kid. And yeah, I've just tried to give me best every time I play football and help my team no matter what. Through tough times, and it's been difficult over my career, but I kept going, just like this team's kept going. And you have moments like this is what you do it for, you know. This is the best moment in my life, apart from my children. This is the best moment in my life. This is what I've dreamt of since a kid. And I just like I said, thank you to everyone, you know, especially my mum and dad, my family, my kids at home, Alexa and Alba, I love you. Yeah, everybody, just, yeah. But like, it's not about me. It's not about me, you know. It's not about me captaining, lifting the trophy. It's special, of course, for me. But it's not about that. It's about this football club. It's about these players. It's about this manager. And now we need to keep going and kick on.
Go and savour the night. Drink it all in.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, great stuff. Imagine what it's like lifting the European Cup.
It's all right. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's true what you said. It's not about you lifting it. It's a great achievement to get there as a team. The icing on the cake is you lifting it, but it's more about getting your name up in them areas that you dreamed about. I mean, I walked into a football club. I think he's very much the same. He walked into Anfield. He's seen Steven Gerrard, Graham Souness, all them big names that have lifted it. And when he was ever around, I'm telling you, I'm 100% sure he would have felt inferior because he hasn't done what they've done. And I was the same at Old Trafford, look, speaking to Ryan Giggs and all the other guys, and look, Bobby Charlton. You feel inferior, and until you do something like that, you can puff your chest down and say, actually, we've achieved something. Now it's about going on again, and that's what I feel with this team. And you can sense it. It's not just about today. It's about what this now pushes them on to do, and that's a scary thing for other teams because I think this team will improve, and I think they'll get stronger from this.
Let's remind ourselves how it happened this evening. Happened very quickly for Liverpool, didn't it? Decision in the first minute to give them a penalty. A strange kind of handball, and a strange start to the game in many ways.
Yeah, it was. It was a stunning start to the game for Liverpool, of course, and really very avoidable from a Tottenham point of view. And I know people will say, some people will think it was a pen, some people think it wasn't. But even if you don't think it was, you've got to question why Sissoko's lifting his arm up in this situation. It's a silly, silly mistake. Of course, there's no intent to handball it. Why would he want to give a penalty away? The ball's going out of the box, in fact. But you've got to be very careful this day and age to be holding your arm up like that.
Glenn, you're not having it, are you?
No way! Is that a penalty? He started pointing, actually, when he was running back outside the penalty box. There was something out of the corner of his eye. He's actually coaching on the pitch. Take the runner, take the runner. He's not putting there for any other reason.
Is that a little bit naive? Let's have another look at it. Is that a little bit naive in the modern game?
Look,
given the penalties that have been given this season, I'm just asking you that.
If that goes straight against his arm now, that is a clear penalty.
No, my question to you is why, with the law, the way it's perceived at the moment, why would you lift your arm up like that and take that chance?
If he's trying to stop the cross, he puts both hands up.
I know that. I know it's not his intention. I know he's trying to point to someone to watch the runners.
Exactly. So
why do that? Why take that risk?
Because it wasn't a risk in his mind, was it? No. Because it wasn't a penalty. It's hit him there, and then hit his arm. If the deliberate handball goes from there,
what would you have said then? Why did you lift your arm up?
Yeah, exactly. I think it was 100% penalty. If it goes straight in the middle of his arm there, I'd say that is a penalty. It's hit him right in the chest. Then it's rolled along his arm. Yeah. If that's an intentional,
it's not intentional. I mean, I'm playing devil's advocate here. I'm not necessarily agreeing with you.
That's your job. But the bottom line is, if that is a penalty, well, we're going to have 100 of them a game.
I think it's a pen. I think you're in your penalty box. You don't put your hand up in positions like that. I think you give the referee an opportunity then to give a decision against you. If you're in the penalty box and your hands are above your head like that, I just think it's a no. It makes it easier for the ref.
If it hits your hand
behind your back, that's the thing.
There's only one intentional handball this season. That was Trent Alexander-Arnold up at Newcastle.
Yeah.
If you put your hands in an awkward position, everybody knows the rules now. That's what it is. And that is as awkward a position as any. Sometimes we get it when it's here.
Hang on, Michael. I think someone wants to come in.
Is that the builders?
I think it's Jurgen Klopp, but we're not having you. We've already heard from you. Go away. Let's have a look at the penalty. Mo Salah, well, he popped it away, but it was, probably not the best penalty in the world.
No, it wasn't. Listen, he hit the back of the net, which is the main thing. He does go for power. There's not that much accuracy there. I don't think he's trying to go down the middle, because you can see the curl on the ball, the way he struck it. He's tried to go that corner. He just wasn't going to be too precise. He's gone more for power. Thankfully, it's gone in. But as you say, it wasn't the greatest of pens.
I think it was about 20 minutes to go, and Tottenham were well on top. And you thought I think you said, you know what's going to happen, Tottenham are threatening here, but they don't look like scoring, and Liverpool are going to get another. And so they did, and it was Divock Origi who scored not many goals this season, but they've been really crucial ones.
That's their Dyer's header there, is it? Dyer's header could have gone wide. What a finish that is.
Yeah.
Spurs should have defended it better. They had chances to clear it. There, go wide. Don't knock it into the danger zone. So he's knocked it up. He's done as best as he could. But here as well, for me, Alderweireld's got to throw his body at it. But what a good finish.
Look what Alderweireld does there, Glenn. Look at his arms.
Exactly.
I mean,
well, he's got to be throwing his body at it, Michael. Look at that. How do you expect defenders to keep your balance and put their? They shouldn't be having to put their arms. How many times did you put your arms behind your back?
That's what they're going to have to start doing.
Well, this is ridiculous, because
I don't disagree with you.
We're going to have to teach young kids to defend with their arms behind their back.
I think
the game's gone if that's.
Origi's touch and finish there, I think that's the thing to admire there. I think it was a fantastic touch.
Against Germany, it was like your finish.
In the semi-final. You're the only one old enough to remember it. On that note, what a season it's been in Europe, and we'll have more of the same. And next season, we'll have every Champions League and Europa League game live and exclusive on BT Sport and in 4K. Time for another break.
I don't want to.
I like you. You have a lot luck.
A lot of luck.
Lucky. You're lucky.
I'm lucky for you.
Because I like you.
So tell us about this little lad here.
That is my favorite picture.